Denver ever hosted a more important NBA game? Tonight, Nuggets face elimination at the Pepsi Center. They've lost only once at home all playoffs. Tonight, it's win or go home. Wait a second, they are home. Okay, it's win or watch the finals with us. Kobe and the Lakers, one win away from their second straight finals and 30th in NBA history. Tonight, will they put the hammer down and finish off the Nuggets? Or will this be a happy 25th birthday for Carmelo Anthony? The good news, first time in his career he's playing ball on his birthday. The bad news, this could be his last game of the season.
One win to earn the right to compete for the most coveted prize in the game and a shot at redemption.
Now drives and throws it down over Anderson.
One win to keep a season alive so that all the passion, the effort, the nuance won't go for naught again.
Game 6 in Denver Friday. Go home, take care of business, and come back here.
One win, effortless to dream, so arduous to turn into a reality. The mission is clear for both sides. The stakes have never been higher. Will Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets inspire at home again and force a Game 7?
Very confident. I like my team.
Or will Kobe Bryant and the Lakers emerge as victors of the West? Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals is next, exclusively on ESPN.
Welcome to Kia NBA Shoot-Around.
Guys, what do you all usually do on a Friday night?
Go to the movies.
I take my wife to the movie every Friday.
Every Friday, see?
Movies, I guess.
Only PG rated. PG rated.
JB goes to church every Friday and then library. This Friday night for us and for you, promise it will be time well spent. Welcome to Kia NBA Shoot-Around. Stuart Scott, Mike Wilbon, John Barry, Hall of Famer Magic Johnson. Guys, it is on. For only the second time in the last 5 years, the Western Conference Finals go at least 6 games. What are you all most hyped up about tonight, this game?
I want to see if the Lakers can finally win back-to-back games in a series, something they have not done since the Utah Jazz in round 1. Back-to-back games. Come on, Magic.
Well, you know what? Denver is 7-1 at home during these playoffs. It's going to be awfully difficult for them to win the Lakers in Denver. And it's Carmelo's birthday, so you know he's going to come out and try to have a big game against the Lakers.
I want to see if Kobe Bryant can reclaim his title of basketball's best closer after losing it at least temporarily last night to LeBron James, who was Mariano Rivera down in Orlando.
You're flipping them flapjacks back and forth, Wilbon.
We'll get to last night's jaw-dropping episode of the LeBron Show in a few minutes, but we start with our game tonight here in Denver. You know, the score might not have been as close as some other games in this series, but Wednesday night in L.A. was only the 4th time in NBA playoff history that a game was tied at the end of the first, second, and third quarters. Lakers used a second-half push to pull away and set up tonight's closeout game in Denver. In case you missed it, here's a look back at Game 5 at Staples.
Welcome to the Staples Center in Los Angeles, where the Western Conference Finals returns all tied at 2 games apiece. Nice pass on a blocked by Anderson.
See the Birdman in one floor of the Cooper's nest.
Vujacic for Dre. Bang! That three-pointer, the first of the game for the Lakers. They were 0 for 7. Oh, what a play from Kobe Bryant. Anthony gets inside, draws the foul, and puts it in. Drives and throws it down over Anderson. Bryant to Odom. Throws it down, and a foul. And the Lakers have their largest lead of the game. Brown with 2 on the shot clock, has to put it up, launches the jumper, and he puts it in as the shot clock expires. 11 straight points to start the 4th.
I mean, they got a couple lucky breaks. You're fine. You're fine, John. You're fine.
Phillips back to Anthony for the slam. And all of a sudden, it's a 4-point game.
Lamar Odom very often is the key. When he is playing this actively and aggressively, what changes?
He's got like the X factor for us because he's got so many options.
To Martin, blocked by Odom. His 4th block of the game. Bryant left open. Inside pass to Odom. He puts it in, and a foul. What a pass from Bryant. Lamar Odom does it again. 19 points, 14 rebounds, 4 block shots.
I just try to pick up my effort and energy. And sometimes when you do that, sometimes it's spread.
The LA Lakers have taken a 3-2 lead in this series as it heads back to Denver.
The competition that we're facing with this Denver Nuggets team is unlike any other that we've seen.
Coach, how confident are you?
Very confident. I like my team.
If you don't know, now you know. Lakers up 3-2 in the series. Lamar Odom, first player ever with 19 points, 14 boards, and 4 blocks off the bench in a playoff game. This is the 18th time that Phil Jackson's up 3-2. He's 16-1 in series all time in those situations. Lakers 21-11 in closeout games under Phil, but only 8-9 on the road, so the stage is set for Game 6. Speaking of losing, the Nuggets franchise has lost its last 7 elimination games, and that ties an NBA record they don't want to be tied with. As for the Lakers, they seem to only win when they have to. They don't have to win tonight, but will L.A. in the series tonight?
Denver will break that streak tonight. Carmelo Anthony will not play poorly like he did in games 3 and 4 at home, where he struggled mightily, shot the ball horribly. And the bench, the Denver bench, will play better. J.R. Smith, 3 of 13 in the last game in L.A. You remember in Game 5, he was huge, or Game 4 rather, 24 points in Denver. He'll play better. The Birdman will play better.
So L.A.'s not going to end it?
No, they feed off the energy. This is a different team at home, the Denver Nuggets. Chauncey Billups only took 7 shots in the last game. I expect him to be a lot more aggressive, and the Nuggets win. We will be here Sunday getting ready for the finals.
Well, to me, it's can the Lakers repeat Game 3 effort in Denver, which they won the game. Now, 3 Lakers were in double figures. Kobe had 41. You had Gasol with 20. And you had Trevor Ariza with 16. So the Lakers tonight have to have 3 guys at least in double figures to give themselves a chance to win this game tonight. And will Lamar Odom come back and play well back-to-back efforts?
So if the Lakers get 3 guys who score 40, do they win?
Not 40.
So remember now, this is the biggest playoff game in Nuggets NBA history. They had some bigger games when they were in the ABA, but it's been more than 30 years since the Nuggets advanced this far, almost to June, in the NBA playoffs. I mean, I think they have some sense of how important this means. Magic, you took their hearts in some previous May series. You know what this means in the city of Denver, how important it is to win this game and force a Game 7.
Well, it's definitely important, but you have one of the best leaders in all of basketball in Chauncey Billups. He's won championships. He's been there before. He will be a calming force for the Denver Nuggets at home.
And coming off the bench for Denver at power forward might be John Elway. In NBA history, fewer than 15% of teams that have trailed 3-2 have rallied to win the series. But Denver faces odds that might be even longer than that, guys. In the current playoff format, 43 teams have trailed 3-2 against the top seed in the conference. 41 times, or all but twice, that top seed advanced. Put away your calculator, stop counting on your fingers. I'll do the math for you. That's 95% of the time. Hey, we're just getting the ball rolling on Kia NBA Shoot-Around.
Still ahead.
James to the rim. Yes, and the foul. What a spectacular move.
The Cavaliers have forced a Game 6 in Orlando. What do we expect tomorrow night in the East?
Kansas done. And I got the victory in the Kansas.
Nene's inspirational comeback. How the Nuggets center battled cancer and won the fight of his life.
Hey, coming up, check me out. Checking this guy out. LeBron James in the virtual world.
Then, the Nuggets need a victory to force a Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals. Will Kobe Bryant and the Lakers end the series tonight, or will Denver live to play another day? Game 6 is coming up next, only on ESPN.
Cavs Magic Game 5 last night. Cavs jump out to a 22-point lead in the first quarter. JB, what does Mo Williams give you?
He better give you some knockdown jump shooting, which he did finally for the first time in the series last night. He's got to make shots if Cleveland's to have a shot.
Mo money, Mo money. Mo had 24, 6 of 9 from the land of 3. But the Magic fight back and cut the lead to 1 at the half. In the second half, Magic built a small lead. Magic, Hedo Turkoglu. Is he a better second-best player than Paul Gasol?
Oh, no question about it. He can get the ball out on the perimeter, shoot from the outside, as well as take it to the basket and score, as well as get his teammates involved with his great passing.
Turkoglu had 29 points. Man shot 10 of 18 from the field. He can go inside, and he can stop and pop from outside. And what's that fellow's name? Dwight Howard?
Howard.
Yeah. What about, so is he's fairly decent?
Fairly decent. And ever since he said a couple weeks ago, get me the ball, which sounded crazy at the time. People thought, well, he doesn't have enough moves down the low post. He's got that move. If you got that one, maybe you don't need a whole bunch of others right now.
Dwight had 24 points and 10 boards, but LeBron James was just filthy, ridiculous, JB.
He was. He absolutely dominated the fourth quarter. He almost had a triple-double in the fourth quarter alone, Stuart.
How about these numbers? Just listen. 37 points, 14 rebounds, 12 assists. The Kings scored or assisted in 31 straight Cavalier points. Let's compare LeBron to Magic Johnson in elimination games. Not that we've never compared them anywhere else. Take a look at how close these numbers are, LeBron and Magic. Excuse me, I got Magic in the brain because I'm looking at the man in the nice suit. LeBron and Michael Jordan in elimination games. LeBron 2 and 3 in elimination. Michael was 6 and 7. Points, field goal percentage, rebounds per game. In those kinds of games, practically even. LeBron faces another one tomorrow night on the road in Orlando, where he has lost all 4 times he has played this season.
Pressure. I've never been a big believer in pressure. I don't feel pressure. I don't believe in it. So I'm the wrong man to ask what pressure is about. Yeah, the team is dangerous when they know they're on their last lap, and especially with us. I think we're very dangerous at this point, and it's going to be a crazy atmosphere, and we look forward to the challenge.
Where do you begin with LeBron James? Guys, in this series alone, he's averaging. This is an average. This is like what he does every game. 40 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Nobody, not the greatest point guard ever, not Magic, not Larry, not Wilt, not Michael Jordan, ever put up those kinds of numbers. What does last night's performance tell you, JB, about the Cavaliers' chances of coming back to win this series?
Well, Stuart, when they were down 3-1, I felt like they could come back and do this. I'm in Orlando for that game, and I hear beat LA chants. And just remember, when I was down 3-1, what happened? We came back and beat them. And when you have a guy like LeBron James, it's certainly not out of the realm. These games have been so close. I mean, you talk about a one-point game in Game 1 that easily Cleveland could have won, and they could have gone up to Orlando up 2-0. These games are too close. It's going to be tough. They're 0-4 in Orlando, but anytime a team can build leads of 23, 22 points, 16 points, they've done it almost every single game. I believe they're doing something right. They just have to be able to sustain that. If they do, they're going back to Cleveland for Game 6.
But Orlando also easily could have been up 2-0.
They could have, but this series is right there. Either team could have won, and hey, Cleveland could do it with what we saw last night. I'm believing a little bit more.
A starting pitcher, a hot goaltender, and an NBA superstar can all disproportionately affect a series, even though we're talking about team sports.
Hold on a second.
That single person can take over a game.
That was really good. That was philosophical.
I thought, you start watching LeBron James, and I thought that this Magic was the second greatest game of his career. The only game I'm going to put ahead of this is Game 5 in Detroit. They started that series down 2-0, tied at 2-2, went to Detroit for the big Game 5, and his coming out party was that 48-point game in which he scored 25 straight points for the Cavaliers. I thought only that game goes above this game in the LeBron's greatest hits, if you will.
Well, I have to disagree with you. This was the greatest game I've ever seen LeBron James play, because he figured out what he had to do and who he needed to help him win the game.
The greatest?
The greatest. I love.
Better than scoring 25 straight points.
He orchestrated. He was playing music last night. It was beautiful to watch him get everybody involved in the first quarter. He said, Delonte West, I need you. Take your shots. And he was cheering for him. Delonte knocked him down. Mo Williams, I need you to help me out in this big game. Mo Williams produced last night. Big Z produced. Then when it was time to take the game over, he dominated in the fourth quarter. He was involved in every point last night in the fourth quarter. The best game I've ever seen LeBron play. That's what a superstar does.
Wow.
He rallies the troops. He says, hey, I need you right now for this big game. Come along with me. for the ride, and he proved to be right. And he was a great facilitator last night. Now, he's probably in the room right now of Delonte West, Mo Williams, Big Z saying, look, I need the same type of game in Game 6 in Orlando.
Actually, he's probably in the room going, he's probably in the room going, you hear what Magic just said? Do that.
Hey, he listened to Magic. What did Magic say? Lay dead, get your teammates involved early.
Only 7 shots, I think, in the first half.
Yeah, get your teammates involved early. That gives him greater confidence in the fourth quarter. It's exactly what happened.
It saves him some energy to have in the fourth quarter, too. When he's running all those ISOs, Irvin, he can't have taken 18 to 25 shots already coming into the fourth quarter, can he?
He wasn't tired when he had to be a great closer, and that's what we saw in Game 5. He just laid back. He had the energy. Also, too, they moved him to the middle, right at the top of the key, and this is what I really loved about LeBron. Twice in the fourth quarter, he could have took the shot, but he knew he needed Daniel Gibson to get hot because, hey, if Daniel knocked these 2 threes down in Game 5, he's going to have confidence in Game 6 to knock them down. Great game, LeBron. That was unbelievable. I'm so hyped right now.
And later in Kia NBA shoot-around, it'll be interesting to find out what Magic thinks about LeBron's chances of winning 2 more. Magic has an interesting thought about that.
Wait, hold on.
LeBron's 4th triple-double of the playoffs, his career, also featured the most points in a playoff triple-double since our man Charles Barkley scored 43 back in 1993. How dominant was the King and how dominant has he been against Orlando? Look, it's only an hour show, not enough time to rattle off everything, but you have to hear this. Against the Magic, LeBron has scored or assisted on almost 60% of his team's field goals. That is an NBA record, and his Cavs are 4-0 when he does have a triple-double. Big man for the Lakers, bind him on the floor. Big man needs to do some work. Magic has called him out already in this postseason. Who's going to be the hero tonight? Denver has never won a series when they trailed 3-2. Lakers have not won back-to-back playoff games in a series since the first round. Still to come, JB jumps back into video game world. It's a play we saw all throughout the fourth quarter last night. LeBron and more LeBron. JB, dude, get out of the way because you don't want to get dunked on.
I ain't no telling
you. And the story of the Nuggets center and cancer survivor, Nene Hilario. It is an emotional story of redemption. Promise you, you gotta watch the entire rest of the show.
Hey, Kobe, you know why I like Kia NBA shoot-around so much?
Tell me. Tell me immediately.
Because it's smart. That Stuart Scott knows how to play the point.
Word.
And you know what they say? This game is 90% mental.
Really? I heard it was 95% mental.
Fine, split the difference. This game is 92.5% mental.
Word.
Word. I paid both of them off. I mean, yeah, really. Literally. I paid the puppets off.
That's the point guard right here.
That was nice, though. I like that.
Oh, man. More fun and frolic from the puppets throughout our coverage of the NBA playoffs. Exclusively on ABC, at least the finals are. Hey, check out Kobe's best closeout games. Game 4, 2001 conference semis, dropped in 48 against the Kings. Yeah, blowing on the fingers, Kobe. LA beat the Sixers in the finals. 2006, Game 6. Lakers first round against the Suns. Kobe 50 on 20 of 35 shooting, but LA lost the series in 7 after being up 3-1. Then Game 5 against the Spurs. Vintage fourth quarter, Jordan-esque. 39 points, 16 of 30 shooting, a perfect 5 of 5 from the line. It was Jordan-esque. It was also, can you say LeBron-esque, and Kobe-esque. Earlier, we compared LeBron to MJ in elimination games. Here's how Kobe fares against MJ in closeout games. Kobe, 25 and 14. Jordan, 30 and 13. MJ has scored about 10 more points, but their shooting percentage and rebounds are pretty close. Looking for another comparison to Jordan. If Kobe scores 2 points tonight, and I'm gonna be bold, I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say that he will score at least 2. He will become only the second player in NBA history to drop 500 or more points 4 times in a single postseason. The other player, yeah, him, that Jordan guy. Now let's head out to Denver for the first time tonight and check in with Doris Burke, who has our courtside report with Lamar Odom.
Lamar, Derek Fisher, after Game 5, talked about you guys learned some things in that game that will help you on the offensive end. How do you replicate the same kind of balance you had in that game tonight?
Focus, especially with moving without the basketball is important for us, especially when Powell and Kobe are making plays. 2 of our best playmakers, of course, and we have to be consistently moving in order to make plays, especially when they got the basketball.
You've been great not talking about the back at all. If there's one area of your game that you feel it, where would it be?
I guess down low, when I'm getting banged. Of course, down for loose balls. I'm kind of scared to take a charge, but hopefully I can get tonight.
Hopefully you can avoid that. Thanks, Lamar. Guys?
Thanks, Doris. The Nuggets season on the brink tonight. Will Chauncey and company force a Game 7? If they do, it will be Sunday night in L.A. You can see us on ABC kicking off the coverage at 8 p.m. Eastern, game time 8:30. Again, that's only if Chauncey and company win tonight. Game 6 coming up next here on ESPN. Still ahead on Kia NBA shoot-around. LeBron has been virtually unstoppable, but JB has found a way to stop him, virtually. Think about that one for a second. We'll show you how later in the show, so stick and stay.
Carmelo Anthony and Chauncey Billups have led Denver on a magical ride this season. Now, they are desperate for a win to extend their season. Will the Lakers emerge as champions of the West? Game 6 from the Mile High City is next, exclusively on ESPN.
Hey, one way or another, this will be a memorable night for the birthday guy dribbling next to me. Carmelo Anthony can do something he has never done before tonight, win an elimination game. The 4 previous times that Melo has faced a win or go home and watch the rest of the playoffs on HD flat screen, all 4 times Melo's been like, he's also struggled at home in this series, averaging only 18 points a game, about half of what he's done in L.A. With more in tonight's Game 6 from the Pepsi Center, let's go to the guys calling the game. Mike Breen, Mark Jackson, and Jeff Van Gundy.
Stuart, thank you very much. Of course, Carmelo Anthony's a star, but there's some other ways to call players in this series. George Karl calls them wild cards. Phil Jackson calls them X factors. They're those players who, if they play at a high level, their teams sometimes are almost unbeatable, and each team has that in this series. For Denver, it's J.R. Smith, Jeff.
Yes, and even though he's struggled offensively shooting the ball in this series, if I was the Nuggets coaching staff, I'd be very pleased with actually how he's played the game. He's rebounded the ball, he's passed the ball much better than I ever would have expected, and he's defended very hard. But they need the J.R. Smith that also provides instant offense off the bench. He can get on a roll with his long-range shooting. He can get in the paint as they close out hard to him, but he has really just struggled with his shot, both from the field, from the three-point line, and he's only shooting 4 for 13 from the free throw line. He's got to have 2 big games for them to advance.
No, it's certainly no coincidence that his best game was their best game of the series. It's also no surprise who the X factor is for L.A. Lamar Odom certainly showed that in Game 5.
Well, absolutely. Had a chance to talk to Phil Jackson. Simply put, he says they respond when Lamar Odom plays that way. You talk about his presence to start Game 5. Offensively came out aggressive, looked to attack. They got on the ball in the paint, made plays, stepped in the rhythm shots with confidence, big-time block shots, alternate shots also. You talk about the intangible. Hustle plays, ready to catch and attack the rim. Outstanding job by Lamar Odom in Game 5. And you talk about the first 4 games of this series. Nowhere to be found. Game 5, you can make the case he was the best player on the floor.
And J.R. Smith was that way for Denver in Game 4 as well, whether it's a wild card or an X factor. Odom sensational in Game 5. He's now getting ready for Game 6 with his pregame preparations, and George Karl getting ready for his team in Game 6.
The most important thing, guys, from my standpoint right now is, there's a lot of things up here. Enjoy the moment by playing basketball. You're a hell of a basketball team. You've come a hell of a long way to enjoy what's going to happen tonight. You're going to have to play hard. You're going to have to play physical. You're going to have to play together. And we're going to have to get a little smarter as the game goes on.
Will it be their final game of the season, or will they force a Game 7? Can't wait to find out, Stuart. We know one thing for sure. This place will be packed tonight.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you all in a little while. The Lakers, they win games in this series, but they win games that they have to win. Game 3, Game 5, they had to win. They don't have to win tonight, and it's not making their living easier. Why does it seem like they lack a killer instinct?
Well, because they've always had trouble, Stuart, with physically tough teams. When you think about the last series against Houston, when Shane Battier, you had Ron Artest, you had Landry, you had Hayes, you had Scola.
Don't forget Brent Berry.
They pushed the Lakers around and made it tough for them. And the same thing is happening in this series against Denver. And we all have to understand this. The West is better this year. I think Denver is a better team, and so a more tougher-minded team this year as well. So,
but the Lakers had the best record in the West.
Well, they get inconsistent play. Lamar Odom played great in Game 5. Can he duplicate that tonight in Game 6? Derek Fisher's been up and down. Can he come and have another good game? He had 12 points last game. Can he come back with that same type of effort?
You know, everybody's really hard on the LA Lakers. And why is that? It's because it's the Lakers. And people are expecting him, and you've alluded to this, that this is not Magic Johnson and Kareem and Worthy. This is the Lakers of today. This is not Kobe and Shaq of 5-6 years ago.
But, JB, don't you expect the team that most people thought all year was the best team in the league, don't you expect them not to win every other game in the playoffs?
Well, you would like to do that, but this is who they are. And like Magic said, this road has been a lot tougher than last year's road to the finals. The expectations in LA are just, they're too big. There's no pro football there. It's all Lakers. It's Lakers every single day. And they are expecting this team to be some of the Laker teams of the greats, and they're not. They're just not that team. And the expectations are too much for this team.
They're not even last year's team.
What?
They're not they're not as good as last year's team, and goodness knows nobody wants to deal with that in L.A. because we all presumed they'd be better. I know I did because they had this experience of being in the finals under their belt. But I'm going to mention a name. Yes, they are essentially, Stuart, the same team. Ronny Turiaf, a guy who comes off the bench. We keep talking about the Laker bench. Comes off the bench, gives you energy, gives you some toughness, so you're not going to back down if you get Scola and you get some of these other guys. And Radmanovic, okay, now, not a star, but he was in the starting lineup, gives the bench some more depth. They can do some other things. So you got two new starters, and you got Shannon Brown playing. He's played well. You've got a slightly different team, and maybe I'm wrong, Irvin, tell me, but I don't think this team is as good as the one that got to the finals last year.
This is really funny. The Lakers are one game away from the NBA championship, and we're down on them. All they have to do to win is win tonight. And don't forget last year, the Boston Celtics had 2 7-game series, Atlanta and Cleveland, and then they went on to beat the Lakers in 6 games.
And we didn't have these conversations.
Exactly. Nobody cares. So all the Lakers have to do is win one game.
It's the Lakers, though. It's the Lakers.
Even though they have one of the best closers in the game, last game, it was Kobe's supporting cast who delivered the win in Game 5. Kobe scored 4 points in the fourth quarter, while everybody else scored 23. In fact, Mr. Bryant didn't even hit a single field goal, going 0 for 5 from the floor. Still, the Lakers were able to outscore the Nuggets by 9 and win the game. Will he get the same kind of production tonight? Still ahead here on Kia NBA Shoot-Around. The Nuggets, will they win the depth battle? The Nuggets benched the star the last time out. Thanks in part to Birdman. Nuggets outscored the Lakers bench 42-24. Game 6 coming up next on ESPN. Still ahead on Kia NBA Shoot-Around. The two head coaches in this series have a history that goes way back. We'll show you some old school footage of Phil Jackson and George Karl that, they probably wish we burned. And the story of Nuggets center Nene. What's it like for him to still be playing after battling and overcoming testicular cancer? You do not want to miss this remarkable story. Game 6 tonight, got to check out some great Game 6s from the past. Jordan in '92, 16 of his 29 in the fourth quarter. Bulls beat the Cavs, win their second straight East title. 1997 West Finals, John Stockton, 15 of his 24 in the fourth quarter in this buzzer beater that ended the series and put Stockton and Malone in the finals for the first time. 2002 Western Conference Finals. Big fella, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Shaq Daddy went off 41 and 17 boards after getting a late-night phone call the night before from Kobe saying, I need you, big fella. He delivered. Lakers would win in 7. Speaking of history, we dug this video out of the two head coaches in this series. Yeah, that's Phil Jackson. Back in the Albany Patroon of the CBA days, Phil won his first title there in 1984, and George Karl, with hair, coached there in the early 90s.
Some hair.
True, some hair. Love the nickname Patroons, but I like even better George Karl's hair and Phil's suit. From Albany to tonight's Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals in Denver, here's how these two coaches stack up. They've each been in the playoffs 18 times in the NBA. You might say that Phil has won a few more playoff games than George. Oh, by about, 204 to 72. Phil's win percentage nearly 70% in the postseason, while George Karl has lost more than he's won. In NBA titles, Phil 9, George is tied with Wilbon. Karl has been there before, though, with the Sonics, but he lost to guess who? Phil in the finals with Seattle in 1996. George Karl can lose the game tonight, and he still wins. He wins every time he steps on the court. He beat cancer, setting the tone for people around him to also kick that nasty disease square between the eyes. Back in 2005, Karl was diagnosed with prostate cancer. He is now in remission. A year later, his son Kobe battled cancer, had lymph nodes removed. Last year, one of Karl's players struck with the disease, Nene Hilario, diagnosed with testicular cancer. Beat that too. I'm sure Nene's teammates hope his scoring and rebounding helps beat the Lakers, but just like with George Karl, Nene already won. Colleen Dominguez has more.
I received a call. They say I need to talk to my doctor. They told me I have cancer. I'm in shock, I'm in panic, because I have no clue what is cancer.
In January 2008, Nuggets center Nene was diagnosed with testicular cancer.
To have a young, talented player that I have a lot of admiration for go through it, I just wanted him to know it was going to be okay.
Head coach George Karl was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2005. He is now cancer-free.
He say, Nene, I know I'm no younger like you, but about cancer. What I can say to you is we're here to support you, man. Whatever you want, and be calm. Everything's going to be fine.
It's still a psychological path that people don't understand. That you wake up fearing that you're going to die. You're going to wake up fearing that if your leg hurts, you think you got bone cancer. If your back hurts, you think you got kidney cancer. Every ache and pain always goes towards cancer.
Nene immediately took a leave of absence from the Nuggets. He underwent surgery to remove a malignant tumor and subsequent chemotherapy.
I feel all the things split up in my, in my veins and split out in my body. I feel that it's crazy, that shut me down, like for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I feel so bad.
By March of 2008, just 2.5 months after being diagnosed, the cancer was in remission. On March 27th, late in the fourth quarter against the Mavericks, Nene made his return to the court.
They gave you a huge standing ovation.
Yes, yeah, that is amazing moment. That moment, I'm gonna hold in my heart forever.
That night, he only played 1 minute and was scoreless. But any questions about Nene's future in basketball were answered this season.
Carter, back, Nene, in there for the slam.
He set career highs in scoring, rebounds, and blocks. He also broke a franchise record by shooting more than 60% from the field, second highest in the entire league.
For me, you can talk about Melo and Chauncey and Kenyon, but the rock of us being special is when he plays well. When he is in the game, efficient, effective, doing his thing, we have this foundation that's pretty good.
With the cancer and the things that he went through just a year ago, you look at him and you can only be proud.
He's blessed. He's unbelievably blessed because a lot of people don't come back from certain things like that, especially cancer.
The cancer, I think, disciplined his thoughts to what he wants in basketball.
Cancer's gone.
Cancer's gone. Yeah. And I got the victory in the cancer.
Thank you, Colleen. Nene, live strong, my brother. He's averaging 10 points, leads the team with 8 boards per game in this series. Nene, center stage in Game 6 next on ESPN. But first, it was a fourth quarter to remember for the MVP. We will revisit LeBron James's ridiculous game last night and find out whether he can lead the Cavs to a series-tying victory tomorrow night. Don't even think about moving. There are game faces, and then there's the game face that Kobe Bryant puts on, straps on, and gets ready to do work. One of the greatest who's ever played the game, Kobe Bryant, trying to close out the Denver Nuggets tonight in Denver, Game 6.
LeBron is Gibson, Wallace, and West with him. Williams, right corner three. Got it. Williams bounce past James in the lane, goes to the basket. Scoop layup, good, and the foul. Jabs with the right, goes to the right. Howard comes to the double. Dipped it to Varejao, back to James, to Gibson, left side three. Good. Cavs lead by 4, 97-93. James fakes, jab steps, shoots a 17-footer. Good. 99-93, Cavs by 6, comes to the left. Stetters, hesitates, spins, goes in the lane at Howard. Shot is good, and a foul, and Howard is fouled out of the game. Clear out for LeBron. Again, jab steps to the right. 4 on the shot, 20-footer. Got another one. He's doing it again. 37 for James. 17 in the fourth quarter. That will wrap it up. 112-102. The Cavs fans on their feet, and they hope that they're back here Monday night for a 7th game.
In the fourth quarter last night, the Cavs shot 10 of 21 from the field. LeBron hit 6 of those shots and assisted on the other 4. He became the second player to either score or assist on every field goal in the fourth quarter in these playoffs. You guys know who the other guy was? Who did it?
Magic Johnson.
No. These playoffs.
Oh. It couldn't have been Magic.
Couldn't have been Magic. I'm too old. How about Mo Williams?
What?
Wow. Game 2 in the first round against the Pistons in the fourth quarter. Mo assisted or scored every basket. It's simple. Magic. Can LeBron be the closer again 2 straight games?
2 more times?
Yeah.
Whoa. You're getting ahead of yourself. If Cleveland is thinking that LeBron has to close 2 more times, they're going to lose the game tomorrow. This is a 1-game series. They must win tomorrow night to get to Monday night. So their whole focus has to be, hey, we got to play our best game tomorrow night. And besides that, how does the role players bring that game from last night in Cleveland to Orlando and play better and help LeBron out?
So when the series was 3-1, Cleveland wasn't thinking, we got to be the 9th team to ever come back from a 3-1 deficit. They weren't thinking, we got to win 3 straight games.
You can't have that mindset. You have to take 1 game at a time. They took Game 5. Now they have to concentrate on Game 6 in order for them to get into Game 7. And why doesn't Tito Turkoglu play better at home? He's averaging 22 points on the road in Cleveland and only 14 at home. He has to play better for Orlando to win.
Well, let's reduce it to a 1-game series, like Magic said. For that 1 game, I'm one of those people who was totally seduced by LeBron James's talent, his intelligence, and his guts on the floor. And you have convinced me, Irvin, that this was not his second best performance ever, but his best performance ever. And I think it was a series-changing performance. So I think for 1 game, yes, he can do that even on the road. They just need to break serve 1 time. 1 time they need to do that to make this series even.
I want to believe you, Mike, but as great as LeBron was, and that was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen, he's got to be even greater in the next game, because I guarantee you this, Stan Van Gundy will not let LeBron James catch the ball where he did and play one-on-one basketball with Michael Pietrus at the top and dictate the whole fourth quarter. That's not going to happen. They didn't show anything that they're going to do in the next game, because if Cleveland thinks that we can throw the ball to LeBron James right here at the top and win a game again, it's not going to happen.
So
they're
what would you do
something
if
different.
you're Mike Brown in Cleveland? What do you do? If you're Cleveland and you anticipate Van Gundy's counter move.
Well, I'll try it and see what he comes up with if I can match that, but they're not going to let him do that again. There's no way.
Tell you what, LeBron is putting up ridiculous numbers in this series, but it's the Magic who have the upper hand. Still, though, the King has scored more points through 5 games of a conference finals than anybody in NBA history, and he's dropped at least 25 in 16 straight playoff games. That's a streak matched only by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan. How do you stop him? We know. Put him in a video game. JB, give it a shot.
Welcome inside the EA Sports Virtual Playbook, where we're now going to talk about LeBron James, this year's MVP. He's been incredible this season. And the first play we're going to talk about is probably the most exciting play that we have in the NBA, LeBron James in the open court. It's exciting for the fans and for the Cleveland Cavaliers, but not for this defender. There's nothing I can do here. I'm just backing up, trying to get out of this big freight train's way. He's too big. He's too strong. He's the ultimate specimen we have in the league, and you know what he's going to do when he gets to the rim. Now here we have LeBron James in the half court, where you do have a chance to stop this freight train. He's a much improved jump shooter, but that's the shot we have to give him. If he gets in the lane, it's over with. He's the best finisher the NBA has. Now, LeBron can go left or right, so we're going to give him a cushion, play him straight up, about an arm's length. You don't want to give him any more than that. The more space you give, the more opportunity he has to gain some speed and go by you. So you're cushioning, you're moving back, cut him off, and then just contest a three-point shot. If LeBron James is making three-point shots, it's going to be a long evening. If you want to stop the Cleveland Cavaliers from winning their first title, you better devise a plan to stop LeBron James.
Kobe and LeBron have done a good job of trying to one-up the other in these playoffs. Right now, Kobe 1 game away from his 6th trip to the NBA Finals. LeBron needs 2 more wins. We're going on the floor next at Staples.
Los Angeles is 1 win away from a trip to the finals. The Nuggets desperate for a victory to force a Game 7. Kobe Bryant, Carmelo Anthony, Pau Gasol, the Birdman. The nail-biting drama of Game 6 from Denver is coming up next on ESPN.
What's Birdman give you, Wilbon?
Well, he gels up that hair, Stuart. He goes into character before games. He's got another look, that office-friendly, dry look Monday through Friday. But when he gets that warm-up on, he goes into his Birdman deal. And now everybody in Denver is going into the Birdman look as well.
He has inspired a legion of Birdman followers. All right, there, bro, man. I see you. There we go.
I haven't had any hair of any kind in about 15 years. I try that look.
Oh my!
Pat Riley would fine you for that.
I know. I'm on the set with 3 bald dudes, and now all of you have hair. You're right. I want to see Kornheiser with this look.
Woo, boy.
Oh, my goodness.
Better hope it didn't catch on too much.
I actually like that look better than I like this look. JB, what are the keys tonight for Birdman and the Nuggets?
Well, I think, number 1, they got to keep him out of the paint. Lamar Odom, in particular, dominated the paint for the Lakers in the last game. Here you're going to see just a simple dribble handoff. Anderson already in the wrong position. He should be cutting him off. He's going to go for a late shot block, something he does a lot. It's going to leave Gasol open for the easy dunk. And on this, you're going to get a nice double team on Kobe Bryant. If you're going to double, you know someone's cutting to the hoop. Kenyon Martin's got to get in front of Lamar Odom. J.R. Smith should be down in the paint. He's not there. You hit Odom in there. If Odom goes 19 and 14, this could be the last one for the Denver Nuggets.
All right, are we coming back for a Game 7 Sunday on ABC, or do the Lakers advance tonight? I need predictions.
Wow.
Like you didn't know I was going to ask.
I know. Are the Lakers really ready? It's all about a championship for them. So I'm going to say that they're going to be ready and they're going to win tonight.
Whoa. I'll see you Sunday. What time we got to be here for the meeting?
Taking the Nuggets. You're going Game 7?
Game 7.
All right, thanks for watching Kia NBA Shoot-Around.
Welcome to beautiful Denver, Colorado. The Western Conference Finals back in the Mile High City. It's time for Game 6. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers are now 1 win away from eliminating Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets. Their Game 5 victory due in large part to the return to form for Lamar Odom, who sent Denver reeling in L.A. as they regain their swagger. But now these tough and talented Nuggets will be at the raucous Pepsi Center, where they've rolled all season long. Who will step up tonight? Can Denver force a Game 7? Or will the Lakers advance? Game 6 next.
One in the left corner against Robinson. One of the most remarkable comebacks. Fires a off-balance three. Bang! It's good! Can you believe it? Oh, my God. Looking for the steal. Magic scattered. Lakers win it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 3 for the game. Stockton, it's the 3. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's over. They won the West. Unbelievable.
The most important thing, guys, from my standpoint right now is, there's a lot of things up here. Enjoy the moment by playing basketball. You're a hell of a basketball team. You've come a hell of a long way to enjoy what's going to happen tonight. You're going to have to play hard, You're going to have to play physical. You're going to have to play together. And we're going to have to get a little smarter as the game goes on. Guys, enjoy where you're at. You are in a special place. You've become a special basketball team. Enjoy the moment by energizing and continue to do what you've done all year long. You've come together as a basketball team. Tonight we come together a little bit more tonight.
The Nugget fans hoping this will not be the final game of this dream season. You can bet the fans will do their part. It's been a great atmosphere here in Denver throughout the playoffs. So let's get things started with tonight's United States Postal Service starting lineups. Here's Nuggets public address announcer Kyle Speller.
Let's meet the visiting Los Angeles Lakers. At forward from UCLA, number 3, Trevor Ariza. At guard from Lower Merion High School, number 24, Kobe Bryant. At guard from Arkansas Little Rock, number 2, Derek Fisher. At forward from Spain, number 16, Pau Gasol. And at center from St. Joseph High School, number 17, Andrew Bynum. Head coach of the Lakers is Phil Jackson. Can you feel it?
in Denver. Many believe it's been the best season in franchise history, and these fans do not want it to end tonight. As the Nuggets and Lakers get set for Game 6 of this Western Conference Finals. And good evening, everyone. Along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Green on hand. Doris Burke will join us shortly. No team has won back-to-back games in this series, but it's a little different pressure tonight being an elimination game for Denver. So what are the keys for these teams to try and respond tonight? Mark, let's start off with Los Angeles. For them to close it out, what do they need to do?
Well, there's no question about this Los Angeles Lakers team on the offensive end. When you talk about Kobe Bryant and crew, that's not a concern. They elevate their game when they're dedicated and determined on the defensive end. That was the difference in the fourth quarter of Game 5. Take a look, holding the Denver Nuggets to 18 points, a low shooting percentage, and they took care of their end of the rebounds. But how did they do it? 3 things: high energy, hustle, and high octane work on the defensive boards. Outstanding job of being committed, paying attention to detail, and making the extra effort play.
Meanwhile, for the Denver Nuggets, defense has been a big part of their success this season. But Jeff, throughout the playoffs, and maybe especially in this series, it's the simple things that make the difference for Denver.
Yeah, it comes down in this series, Denver's got to make more shots. It's a make or miss league, and Denver has just not made enough shots. You see the numbers in the wins and losses. Denver has just not shot well enough. They're 29% from three-point range in this series, 42% overall. And Chauncey Billups, Carmelo Anthony, and J.R. Smith have to heat up. Chauncey Billups had a great start to Game 5, 9 quick points. Then he got a questionable second foul, went to the bench, and never regained his rhythm again. All 3 of their top scorers have to be on top of their offensive game to win Game 6.
They usually are on top of their offensive game when they're playing at home. During the regular season, 33-8 here in this building. During the playoffs, 7-1. The only loss was the Game 3 loss, and that's because that guy scored 41 at 18 in the fourth quarter. That was Game 3. Lakers won by 6. But they bounced back. Denver did in a big way in Game 4 in the most dominant victory of this series, winning by 19. They certainly have the crowd into it. As the Lakers trying to clinch one on the road. Let's take a look at the officials for tonight. The crew chief, the veteran Joe Crawford, with Mike Duke Callahan and Mark Wunderlich, as we're set to go for Game 6. In that Game 4 victory for the Denver Nuggets, that was one of those total team efforts. They had 7 players in double figures. The bench was superb. They overcame an off night from Carmelo Anthony. Now he doesn't care how they do it. They just want to force the Game 7, which will be Sunday night back in Los Angeles. Lakers, meanwhile, have been in this position before. Remember Game 6 in Houston. They had won by 40 in Game 5, wanted to wrap up the series in 6. And what happened? They started off trailing 21-3 to the Rockets and really never had a chance in that game. Bryant double-teamed. Ariza to Fisher. Shot clock down to 7. Lob it in to Bynum, and he can't finish. Ball poked away by Kobe Bryant. And a loose ball foul is going to be called. And Bryant picks up, what do they call it against Chauncey Billups? Yes, against Billups.
It's a good job by Kobe Bryant reading the pass, getting in the lane, trying to create havoc in the backcourt. Just a good read, realizing that Chauncey Billups does not have his eyes on him. Your responsibility as an outlet passer is you're the eyes for Billups. So that's the next point.
Apparently, Bryant pushing off, or Billups pushing off with that left arm. And Billups' first foul. Gasol aggressive in Game 5. Gets the first one to go. He's been asking for more touches, and they go to him right away.
But when he counters back to the baseline on his back end, he's very difficult because he does it quickly, and he has good touch with the left hand.
There's Carmelo Anthony. It's his birthday today. He said he just wants his team to play hard and make all the hustle plays. His first jumper won't go. Ariza the rebound. And they go inside. Bynum had some good moments in Game 5. Anthony off the miss. Nuggets at home during the playoffs, averaging 112 points per game. They've been the highest scoring team throughout the 2009 postseason. Here in the Pepsi Center, everybody stands till they score their first points. Like the college atmosphere, Kenyon Martin is fires. Jones on Bryant. Kobe Bryant seen double teams throughout like he does pretty much every night. Good ball movement. Ariza, open 3. That's good.
I like what the Lakers are doing on the offensive end. Very patient. The Nuggets look at the double in the post and also on Bryant. They're taking the double team sort of like they did at the end of Game 5 and hitting the open man.
Anthony, as we said, has played better on the road in this series than at home. Although the game he was at home, one of them, he was sick and had the ankle problem.
But he has been much better in L.A. Martin, the runner. Strong. Bynum trying to grab it. Fisher comes up with it. Fisher looking inside. Instead goes out to Ariza, and that's going to be a turnover. Turnovers have been crucial more for Denver. Denver in that Game 4 victory only had 6, but then had 15 the other night in Los Angeles, and a lot of them led to easy buckets for the Lakers.
They were tied going into that fourth quarter. Shot 23%.
That's a little bit behind Anthony. And that's the second turnover for Denver. That was a strange game. Doesn't happen very often, Game 5. Tied after the first, tied at halftime, and tied after the third. But by the time the fourth started, the Lakers were on that great run, and they began the fourth quarter 11-0. Ariza not that time.
If the Nuggets don't score this time, I'd sit down anyway.
Ariza falls down, but Fisher able to come up with it. Derek Fisher puts up the jump shot. Neither team shooting well to start. LA 2 for 6. Denver 0 for 3 with 3 turnovers. Anthony takes it to the basket. And Bynum with the foul.
And this is what you have to do as a scorer. You realize you're struggling to start this ball game. You're Carmelo Anthony. Put your head down and attack the body of the bigs for the Lakers. That time does a great job getting into the seams and causing the contact.
Anthony gets to the free throw line. He took 13 free throws in Game 5. He's always been a good free throw shooter. Misfires on that one.
And I like the foul that Andrew Bynum took. He came over. No cheap foul there. He went up, contested the shot, tried to block it. Good aggressive foul by Bynum.
Denver gets on the board. Everybody can sit down.
I'm not sure you should be able to sit down on a free throw. I think you should have to score a hoop.
After 3 minutes, I think you sit down on anything. On a ball that hits the rim. Fisher inside to Gasol. Gasol comes up short. And Dene the rebound.
But the Lakers are getting really high-quality shots to start this game.
Dene goes against Bynum, goes reverse. Ball tipped up and in. Jones was there. Kobe Bryant was there. They'll score it to Jones. I'm not sure who touched that.
Well, I think Kobe Bryant was a little upset, too. Dante Jones tried to sort of half-taunt him by throwing him the ball. He didn't even catch it.
Those two have had a couple of little skirmishes. As Ariza floater in the lane rolls around and drops in.
I really don't like the way that the Nuggets are defending, and especially when you talk about Trevor Ariza. He's had 3 wide open looks to start this ball game. He's not a guy that's a liability offensively. He has put himself in a position to make you pay the price when you don't defend.
Dene, who's played much better here at the Pepsi Center as he knocks it down when he has it on the road. He's gotten in some foul trouble throughout. He's fouled out of a couple of games. But here on the home floor, much more aggressive. Trying to get position, and A doing a good job tonight. Bryant on the pull-up. Shot won't go. Good defensive rebound early for Denver. Phillips blocked by Bynum, picked up by Kobe Bryant. Bryant's got one man to beat. It's Martin who grabs him. I'm going to say in the act of shooting. Martin picks up his first, and Kobe Bryant will go to the free throw line. Let's go back to that tip-in play. And if you look at the hands, it's actually Kobe Bryant. Oh, and then Jones tips it after him. Bryant will go to the line down the other end. He's taken 63 free throws in this series, and he's only missed 5. That's a 92%. It's about 13 a game, which is a tremendous number.
You do that math in your head right now if you had that one sitting there.
Statistician Dave Freed responsible for all mathematical problems on these broadcasts. Brown hits a pair, a quick 4-0 lead for LA.
And any errors, I might add, too. Just don't give him props on what he does right. And a few mistakes along the way as well.
Point goes out as we go along. Kobe Bryant on Phillips. As we said at the start of the series, for Phil Jackson, that was the priority. Get the ball out of Phillips' hands. Dante Jones trying to find an opening. Anthony gets inside. Nice move. Can't finish. Gasol a rebound. Lakers come the other way. Fisher to Ariza, who's become a nice offensive machine for them. Are we going to call an offensive foul? Yes. Nene draws the charge.
I think Mark is so right, though. Ariza wide open. They get another basically non-contested drive to the basket until Nene stepped in front.
When I say offensive machine, obviously he's not a big-time scorer, but he has scored over 11 a game in the playoffs, shoots well over 50%. Anthony gets it out. Kenyon Martin spinning inside. Nice quick move from Martin.
Those are the type of moves that Kenyon Martin will have to make in order to be successful. Don't just settle with being a jump shooter. Look to put the ball on the floor.
And a whistle and a travel call on Bynum. We're not even midway through the first. George Karl going to his bench as J.R. Smith's going to come in.
And you're talking about how the Lakers bigs are defending the Nugget bigs, or they're daring them to be jump shooters. That doesn't mean you have to be a jump shooter. Kenyon Martin, using his skills, puts the ball on the floor, goes by the bigger defender in Bynum.
Smith quickly in. Dante Jones sits down. Jones normally only plays early in the first, but not this quick. Trying to get J.R. Smith going. Nice pass to Martin. Blocked by Gasol. Lakers had 12 block shots in Game 5. And Gasol had 5 of them. And a quick foul down the other end. And it'll go against Denver. J.R. Smith quickly picks up one. And we'll have our first timeout. Just past the midway point here in the first quarter. Laker defense was superb in the second half of Game 5. Already got a couple of block shots here in Game 6. Early on here in Game 6, Lakers by 2.
Welcome back to Denver, where the Nuggets do indeed face elimination, a circumstance that has not been kind to Carmelo Anthony thus far in his young career. He is 0 for 4 when facing elimination. Chauncey Billups, what difference does he make? Well, George Karl says, I believe that will make all the difference in the world. And for Chauncey Billups, well, somebody else had some thoughts to Carmelo Anthony on what his impact might be. Let's hear what Carmelo was told over the summer.
Kobe called me and said, you got what you was looking for, and I was like, what are you talking about? I was just, everybody joke of the summer. Now I got what I'm looking for, but it was a great conversation, man. And he told me back then, he said, if you do what you got to do, I'll see you in the Western Conference Finals. And here we are today.
Kobe also told him, listen, Allen Iverson is a great player. There is no doubt about that. But what your team needs more than anything else is a quarterback. And you have one now in Chauncey Billups, Mike.
Well, they can't kid him anymore, Doris. He said during the summer with the U.S. Olympic team, they were busting on him because he never got out of the first round. And then they were making fun of him. He said, hey, every team in the West is adding players. You guys lose Camby, Marcus Camby. You lose Eduardo Nahara. So he was taking a lot of heat from his USA teammates, but now he's the one smiling here in the Western Conference Finals.
Kobe Bryant has something in common with Coach Van Gundy because he said the same exact thing to me in the summer. You take care of your business, I'll see you in the Western Conference Final. And you were right.
Fisher takes care of business there. To 3 of 10 from the field start, close to 3 turnovers. Good ball denial from Trevor Ariza. Martin gets it inside, and that's a hard foul by Bynum. That's going to be 2 on Bynum. And Kenyon Martin will go to the free throw line.
And I feel bad for Bynum. He's protecting the basket twice, and he's going to go to the bench because of 2 breakdowns that weren't his. He's doing the right thing protecting the basket, but it's that foul trouble that always plagues him.
That was similar to the foul in Game 4, which was initially called a flagrant, then rescinded, and that one just considered a good hard foul. So Martin to the line as Lamar Odom will check in with Bynum picking up that second.
I think if you're Kenyon Martin, you can understand because you made a similar hard foul. Kobe Bryant in transition. This is good playoff basketball. Send the guy to the line.
And even if they can't understand, who cares? They're not on your team.
Off the mark, and we say it, and we've said a lot in the playoffs, and it gets magnified in the postseason. As free throws can really come back to haunt you in big playoff games. Gasol tried to save it. Here comes Phillips. Phillips pulls up. That's a two. Won't go. J.R. Smith can't control, and Ariza has it. Gasol takes his time. Now wants to repost. Martin undersized, but he's a good rugged defender. Here's the double. Fisher to Bryant. Shot clock at 8. Bryant gets inside, elevates, and gets the roll.
But you see inside-outside attack, much more patient for the Lakers offensively. Pau Gasol getting his touches, and it's not about him scoring. It's throwing it out of the double team.
The reason now on Phillips, Kobe Bryant guarding Anthony in the transition defense. Smith hoists up the three. That's good. And what a huge sign that is for Denver. They had that great game 4, but just 1 of 10 from downtown in LA the other night.
They need J.R. Smith aggressive and knocking down shots. That's when they're a totally different team.
Fisher looking for Gasol. Lakers definitely trying to get the ball inside early. Gasol, a good passing big man, gets it to Odom, and Odom banks it in.
It's awfully tough, Coach, I'm sure you would agree, to double team Pau Gasol when Nene has him under control. Too many weapons on the perimeter for the Lakers.
Yeah, and they're getting into full rotation, so they've got their big men closing out on small, and it's really inverting their rebounding positioning as well.
Anthony, good hard drive, gets inside, backs it in. And scoring so many different ways as Carmelo Anthony gets his first field goal.
Well, he's really become a much better pick-and-roll player over the years. That's not something he went to in college, and it's something he's getting better and better at.
J.R. Smith on Bryant. Smith has actually played some nice defense in this series. Ariza gets it, drives inside, and throws it down. Lakers doing a good job finding the open man.
And the Nuggets are not doing a good job in their double team.
Phillips straight on 3, puts it in. Denver 2 for 2 from downtown. You said it at the top, Jeff. It's a team that's been struggling from three-point range. Sometimes it's as simple as just making your shots.
Exactly. It's a make-or-miss league. You got to make to win in this league.
Anthony knocks it out. In Denver, maybe as much as any team in the NBA, their offense really fires up their defense. It's that way with everybody, but maybe more so with these Denver Nuggets. Just over 2.5 remaining in the first. Denver back within 1. Just over 2.5 remaining. First quarter of Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Lakers leading by 1. Their leading scorer has been Trevor Ariza. And it's not so unusual. He's played very well on the offensive end.
He sure has.
Be aggressive. Go to that board. React to the ball. 1, 2, 3. You want to pick up the pace a little bit. So you're flowing in your offense. Running your lane.
Ariza's 3 for 4 for 7 points. They're leaving him open in their double teaming schemes, and he's getting at the basket. That one came off a double team and a dribble drive. Denver's going to have to do a better job of protecting the lane and the three-point line in their double teaming scheme.
Phil Jackson talking about picking up the pace. Ariza loves that pace. Very good in the open floor. But he's been one of the real surprises in this postseason. And how his game has developed and how important he is for LA. Bryant, the drive. Looked like he was going to throw it down and a little scoop finger roll.
Kobe 5 years ago would have dunked that. This guy's played 13 hard years in the NBA.
Hey, Father Time is undefeated.
Smith misses that one. Ariza the rebound. With all the plays old, still only 30 years old, Kobe Bryant. Chris Anderson has come in for Denver. Bryant gets inside, flips it up over Anderson, won't go. And the mark down on the boards. Odom goes to help on Anthony.
Billups back out. Anthony wide open for three. Won't go. This three-point shooting is really struggling since game one.
If you're Lamar Odom right now, you're being defended by Chauncey Billups. Good job of reading.
Odom, second opportunity, banks in the second one. What a game he had. In game 5, finally broke out of the slump. He admitted he was playing poorly. Bump Smith there. Smith goes at him again. Gets inside. Nice move from J.R. Smith.
Good aggressive move by J.R. Smith. Reloading. Lakers, they have to be disappointed with that help defense. No one there to get Odom back.
There's Ariza again. Sets. Knocks down the three. Trevor Ariza, 10 points here in this first quarter. He's already had a 20-point game in the series and also had 16 here in Denver in game 3.
Second time he's been able to get free just off that little weak side stagger action.
Anthony gets inside, plays it in. 5 points for Carmelo Anthony. 4-point game as they wind down the first quarter. Bryant double team telling Odom to go down. And defensive 3 seconds called against Denver. It's against Carmelo Anthony, so 1-shot technical.
You're the Nuggets. You got to talk about the space that Trevor Ariza is getting on the offensive end. That's inexcusable. You don't want to allow a guy like Trevor Ariza to get going early because he will be a problem later on, stepping in rhythm with confidence.
Ariza in the playoffs, as Bryant gets set for the technical, shooting 48% from downtown. Prior to this season, his career mark was 21%. He was a poor free throw shooter, but when he got hurt last year and broke his foot, he spent a lot of the time in rehab just working on his shot and his range, and it's made an enormous difference.
They should take a hammer to a lot of guys in this league's foot over the summer. I mean, seriously, this guy went, as you said, as a detriment to your spacing to now helping your spacing.
Good defense from Anthony Carter. Bryant misses. Anderson the rebound. Final seconds. Anthony gets it to Carter. Carter with a 2-pointer. And that will end the first period. Lakers shoot 53%, but that's the guy who's their leading scorer. A couple of 3-pointers, and he's in double figures after one already.
Doing a good job of making plays. Denver Nuggets daring him to make shots. Trevor Ariza says, I put too much time in not to step in with confidence. You put the time in, things will come.
With Phil Jackson, one of your themes coming in was reacting to the ball aggressively, Coach. How did you think your guys pursued that?
All right. You know, this game started out like 2 heavyweight boxers that have been fighting against each other over the years. Just kind of sparring back and forth. No real high energy yet. So I haven't really seen the reactive quality yet that we have to have. Each team's trying to make the other team kind of overplay and do the things that they want to work on. Right now, we got the better hand of it.
Denver's coming with some double teams. How do you think your guys are reacting to those?
I think they pulled off their double teams. They wanted to pull them off. And that's something they did mid-quarter. We have to adjust to that.
Mike.
All right, Doris. Hey, Mark, is that boxing match he refers to, is that a Ernie Shavers, Ron Lyle fight or an Ali Frazier?
Are you old enough to remember Ernie Shavers and Ron Lyle? I'm awfully impressed with you.
Well, one's classic and one's a little sloppy. What do we have in the first?
Well, if I'm Phil Jackson, I just hope as Carmelo Anthony gets another paint drive that my defense does not look punch drunk.
Anthony, meanwhile, missed his first 3. He's hit his last 3, and it's a 3-point game. Jordan Farmar in the game. Always interesting to see which point guard Phil Jackson is using. A lot of it has to do with matchups as Gasol knocks down the shot. Vujacic and Luke Walton also in. So the only starter out there right now for LA is Gasol. Walton is on Anthony. Vujacic is on Anderson. Now goes back to Smith, gets inside. Nice move from Smith.
But Vujacic made a mistake. He rotated to Chris Anderson, leaving J.R. Smith, and then tried to get back to Smith. That's a difficult closeout. Smith, good job putting the ball on the floor and attacking the rim.
Gasol doubled out to Farmar. Farmar's been taking some quick threes, not that time. He reposts with Gasol. Shot clock at 4. Farmar in the drive, kicks it out, throws it away to Carter. Carter, bad pass ahead to Gasol. Odom looks to push. Farmar, Vujacic for 3, puts it in. Sasha Vujacic hit a big one in the first half of Game 5, but he struggled shooting the ball.
You turn over the basketball, you're going to pay the price. Good job by Jordan Farmar, being patient, delivering the pass to Vujacic.
Vujacic bellies up on Smith. These two have gone at it a little bit here. We have a whistle. And a defensive 3 seconds against LA. So a one-shot technical. Our NBA calendar is Carmelo Anthony. We'll shoot the one-shot technical. Saturday on TNT, Eastern Conference Finals. Game 6. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. Cleveland winning last night, so now it's 3-2. And Sunday on ABC, if there's a Game 7, we'll be at Staples Center in Los Angeles. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. And then Game 1 of the NBA Finals next Thursday on ABC. Our coverage beginning at 8:30 Eastern. Still no idea when that Game 1 will be or who will be playing. Carter on the drive. Anthony gets inside. Running shot won't go. Anderson battling. Out of bounds. And there's 2 on the shot clock. Carter will inbound. Luke Walton just grabbing a hold of Carmelo Anthony before the ball was inbounded. So Walton picks up his first. And it's a 2-shot foul because it came before the ball was inbounded.
That's a bad foul by Luke Walton. You got to be smarter defensively. 2 seconds on the shot clock. You allow Carmelo Anthony to just go to the line. Inexcusable.
Well, Joey Crawford was right in the line to see Walton grab a hold. His free throw bounces in.
They're going to screen for Anderson. With Anderson.
Obviously not a lot there, but enough to slow him down in the initial inbound.
If I'm Luke Walton, the only thing I would worry about is make that call all game long. Just be consistent. It's a tough call. If you're Luke Walton, you got to be smart.
3-point game. We're just over 2 minutes gone by here in the second. Well, Phil Jackson is right. There's still kind of a feeling out process a bit. Dangerous pass gets to Odom. Vujacic tries it again. Way off. Maneri the rebound. Quick outlet. Both teams looking to push on the opportunity. Lakers get back on D. Smith again to the basket. Drive. Bank shot's good. Beautiful move from J.R. Smith. Taking it to the goal. He's got 9.
I have no idea how this series is going to end. But J.R. Smith has made some big-time improvements during this series.
Fires a 3. Way off the mark. Maybe not the best shot for him there. But if he was hitting his 3-pointers, because the other parts of his game have been so impressive. Jeff.
Exactly. He's passed the ball. He's put it on the ground and finished. And he's defended hard.
He's only had 1 game where he shot well. As he leans back and knocks that down. And the Nuggets have their first lead of the night. 11 points in 9 minutes for J.R. Smith. Phil Jackson wants time on the first standing ovation of the night.
Well, again, he's played mostly as a 3-point shooter, but driving by Vujacic, good body control, good touch, and then off the pick and roll, little step back going to his left, balances up, knocks it in. J.R. Smith rolling.
Second quarter in Denver. The Nuggets have taken the lead after trailing by as many as 6. It's now 31-30. J.R. Smith ignited them. 11 points in 9 minutes. Jeff Van Gundy, you've talked about how impressed you are with Smith, but you're not the only one. His teammate Chauncey Billups has been impressed in his first year playing with a young man.
He is pretty much a student of the game. He wants to be great. Works extremely, extremely hard. So a lot of the shots that I've seen him taking before I started working out with him, I would always say, what is he, what are you doing, you know? And then working out with him, I realized that he works on those crazy shots. And it was even, it really blew my mind even more.
Well, sometimes they are crazy shots, but we have seen a J.R. Smith, a well-rounded player in this series.
Well, he's not just looking to score. We watched him take up a game forward with his ability to make plays and dish the ball out. He's doing a great job of being aggressive and not just settling with jumpers tonight.
Luke Walton shot in and out. So, score of the goal is Walton. It's a nice feed from Kobe Bryant. Bryant is actually leading the Lakers in assists in this series. He got 8 in Game 5.
Exactly, and right now, all he wants to do is pass. So Denver's got to make him shoot. Again, a late double team by Glazer. Good cut by Walton along the baseline. Another wide open shot off the double team with the low post against Bryant.
Smith fires away. At that time, Anderson off balance, lost it out of bounds. Crowd wanted a foul, but I think it was his own man who actually bumped it.
I really like what Phil Jackson did. Get Vujacic out of the game and put Kobe Bryant on J.R. Smith. This is a situation where you have to treat it like it's Game 7. The guy has heated up. Somebody has to attempt to cool him down.
He's one of those guys that if he gets his confidence going, he can be explosive. Had a couple of 40-point games in the regular season. Farmar is open. Can't get the three to go. Part of the rebound, and he's fouled. It's going to go against Luke Walton. That's his second.
But I really don't like the defense that the Nuggets are playing, giving up wide open shots. If you're Kobe Bryant or Jordan Farmer in that situation, you come back and run the same exact thing. That's a shooter stepping into an uncontested jumper.
Fighting over the screen. Smith forced it in. Smith guarding Bryant down the other end. He's guarded him a lot in this series. Ball stripped out of Bryant's hands. Nice play by Smith. Back to Glazer. Glazer in for the layup. Missed it, but Smith on the follow. 13 now for J.R. Smith. And he's ignited the crowd as he often does here at the Pepsi Center. Alley-oop to Bryant. Poked away by Nene. Denver energized. Carter alley-oop to Anderson. Threw it behind him, and then Nene with a foul to prevent Walton from starting off on a fast break.
Kobe Bryant upset. One-on-one isolation. Felt like there was a lot of contact. That's a strip of the basketball by J.R. Smith. Good job by the Nuggets, forcing Bryant not to just beat one guy, but help was there quick.
And Denver continues to struggle in their efficiency on the fast break. They've blown 3 fast breaks already in this game.
Odom flips it up and in. Lamar Odom off the bench with 6 points.
You know, Bryant understands that the double team is coming. Right now, it's almost like a decoy. He is setting you up to double and making plays.
Nene trying to left hand, won't go back and tips it out. Nene will try it again, spinning inside, poked away by Odom.
You know, he understands. Double team is coming. When it does, he's a willing passer early on, looking to get other guys involved offensively. It was so effective in Game 5, and he's looking to continue.
Anderson lost it, got it, lost it, takes it out, plays it. Walton got a piece of it. Odom puts it away again. Odom to Bryant, to Farmar. Farmar looking inside. And he called for travel. He dragged his pivot foot. 9 turnovers by the Lakers. And a timeout call. Midway point, second quarter. Lakers by 1. Game 6, Kobe Bryant, the Lakers trying to close out the Nuggets tonight. Right now, they lead by 1. We've just passed the midway point of the second. And, of course, LeBron James trying to keep his team alive. Unbelievable numbers. Another triple-double last night. Orlando still 3-2. And you guys, we're hearing that we're all witnesses as Anthony Carter comes up short. We truly are seeing something special.
Oh, the guy is an incredible basketball player. There's no secret about that. I love the way that as the stakes rises, the guy continues to take his game to a brand new level. A thing of beauty watching him play.
It's not a thing of beauty It's disgusting. I am so sick of his greatness in these last 5 games. I can barely take it. I've got 2 words for Orlando. Food poisoning. That's the only thing you can do to stop that guy.
Phillips can't hit. What did we say earlier today? Brothers stand right now in peril.
Oh.
And reaching foul call. It's just part of what he did last night.
Really simple basketball when you talk about what Mike Brown decided to do. Put the ball in the hands of the best player on the floor and trust that he will make the right decision. Time and time again, especially in the fourth quarter, it was the LeBron James show.
And to me, on those plays, what you saw is you can't give him everything. And they gave him everything. They gave him assists. They gave him drive. And Pietrus has got to have a game plan more where he can keep him in front of him. And just, hey, if he makes jump shots, you got to say congratulations.
Derek Fisher trying to make a jumper. Gets it to go, a 3-pointer. And the Lakers 4 for 8 from downtown. They're backed up by 4. Fisher started to hit some shots the other night in Game 5. He's got a couple of field goals here this season.
Well, if I'm George Karl, I got to get J.R. Smith in the ball game. It's good to see you got Carmelo and Anthony back in the ball game, but you need their presence on the offensive end.
Good defense from Gasol, making Anthony alter his shot. Smith ready to come back in along with Kevin Martin. Now Anthony just 3 of 9 from the field. Gasol pass deflected. Good hands defensively. I think it was Nene. Carter comes the other way. Lakers have 10 turnovers in this first half, and we still have 4 minutes to go. Nene. Well, you look at the shooting numbers. Lakers at 56%. Nuggets at 37%. Yet they're only down 4. Again, the turnovers are part of that. Helping keeping Denver in. Gasol lost his pivot foot. That's the 11th turnover. Of course, if Denver wins tonight, we'll be at the Staples Center in LA on Sunday night. Game 7 for the right to go to the NBA Finals. Our coverage will begin at 8 Eastern with GMC NBA Countdown. 8:30 Eastern tip-off. Nuggets and Lakers. Perhaps a Game 7 coming up Sunday night on ABC. As we said, the last time Lakers wanted to avoid a Game 7 was in the previous round against Houston, and they got waxed by the Rockets. And then took care of business in Game 7 as Trevor Ariza picks up his second. And we have alternated wins throughout this series. Each team has won once on the other's score. Phillips. Get it to go. Gasol tips it right to Fisher. Under 3.5 to play in the second. Fisher to Ariza. Bryant. And doing a lot of passing here in the first half. Nice feed to Gasol. Gets it back off the deflection. Draws the foul. Nene his second foul. And Kobe Bryant will shoot 2.
The guy is such a brilliant passer. Good coming off the hand up. Good bounce pass to Gasol. Deflected. Gets the loose ball. And I think what's understated about Bryant is his strength. The ability to take a hit, regather, recoil. You rarely see him get knocked to the ground.
And I like that Phil Jackson stood up after that drop pass from Pau Gasol, yelled at him, said, you got to get tougher. This is playoff basketball. You have to put yourself in position to catch it, understand that help's going to be there, and look to attack. There's no secret. That's the drop pass, but you talk about Bryant. This is how you attack the bigs of the Nuggets. Force the contact and go to the line.
They called that foul on Kenyon Martin. It was really Nene's the one that had the contact. So Nene still has 1 foul. Martin has 2. And Bryant hits another free throw. 5 for 5 from the line. Lakers have scored 7 straight. Phillips against Fisher. Pass deflected. Gets it right back and then a foul. The Lakers defended it well, but Fisher draws the person. And Lakers in the penalty. Well, Billups will go to the line with his team down by 6 in an elimination game for the Denver Nuggets. Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets right now trailing by 6. As Chauncey Billups will go to the line. And guys, we've kind of brought this up early on in the series. And Billups, his scoring responsibility has increased here as opposed to Detroit. It was a different team certainly in the Detroit. But they need him to be aggressive for them really to be successful. Would you agree?
Well, I would think they need pretty much the same Chauncey Billups. In Detroit, he was a guy that looked to score, but what he did was he picked his spots. Similar situation here, but they don't have the same explosive scoring on the front line that Detroit had when they were arguably the best in basketball. So it's a different look.
And remember, Detroit had a shooting four-man in Rasheed Wallace that spread the floor. So a much harder team as far as for Chauncey Billups to play with here, because on their pick and rolls as Bryant knocks it in, Chauncey Billups, when he comes off his pick and roll, he doesn't have as much room because the fours for Denver are 15-foot shooters versus three-point shooters.
2.5 remaining. 6-point lead. LA's defense has been solid. Martin gets inside. That time. The defense, that is Martin now at 5 points.
And Phil Jackson told Doris that they were going to make an adjustment if the double teams didn't come. That's exactly what happened in the last possession. They're going right back to Bryant, one-on-one against Smith.
Bryant to Ariza. An open three. Knocks it down again. That's his third three-pointer.
But, Coach, part of the problem is Carmelo Anthony is pretty much in no man's land. He's half doubling, not doubling. You have to either commit or stay at home on your man.
Right, and there's no rotation. I mean, Ariza has proven to be an outstanding three-point shooter. You got to rotate up off of him and kick out to Fisher in the corner.
And a blocking foul call. And Trevor Ariza has 3 personals.
Well, defensively, if you're in no man's land, then I don't know whether to rotate or not. It's a tough situation. You got to communicate, understand what you're doing, and then follow the game plan.
But I'll also say, with that effort, I don't care what game plan you have. Carmelo Anthony started in no man's land and never moved defensively. He wasn't rotating back to the corner, back inside. He was just standing and watching. Look at that pass. I mean, that's just not getting it. That effort is not getting it.
But Ariza sits down with 3 fouls. He's their leading scorer with 13. 5 of 6 from the field. His terrific postseason continues. Ariza's going to be a free agent this summer. A lot of teams would be interested in him. The Lakers certainly want him back.
Well, I think the Lakers will end up signing Ariza, and if they have to make a decision between Ariza and Odom, I think they're going to go with Ariza.
Bryant knocks down the jumper. 46-39, 7-point Laker lead. Kobe Bryant now with 13.
This is not the same physical Denver Nuggets defense that we've become accustomed to watching.
Offensive foul. Nene with a moving screen, and that's his second. Good job from Luke Walton selling it and trying to fight over the screen. Well, he didn't have to sell much of that. He gave a pretty good shot in the back. Coming up on a minute remaining in the first half. Bryant puts it in. Kobe Bryant now with 15, and this is the largest lead of the first half.
Demanding the basketball and taking over on the offensive end.
Nene backs in. Phillips inside. Wanted to get it to Nene, but he went to another spot. And that's now 8 turnovers for Denver. Bruce Anderson, the Birdman, will check back in. They don't want Nene to pick up another foul. He has 2. When you look at the shooting numbers, Lakers 61%, and the Nuggets 38%. What's helped Denver is they've got to the free throw line more, and LA's turned the ball over more. Fisher to Gasol. Gasol finishes strong in the first double-digit lead of the night.
Little misdirection. Everybody anticipated going to Bryant. Good read.
Phillips, smart play. He goes right at Owen. And draws the foul.
Everybody in the building expecting the ball to stay in the hands of Bryant. This is a good aggressive play by Derek Fisher. Causing the help and then the drop pass. Algasol does a much better job of catching and finishing.
And Mike, this is the mistake many teams make. Thinking coming home is the answer. It's not the answer. Your fans are not the answer. There's only one answer. Play hard, play together, and execute. And that doesn't matter where you play. So you hear it all the time in the playoffs. We're going home. We're going home. Our fans will carry us. No, they're not.
There was almost, and you said this earlier, even Phil Jackson kind of intimated it. There's almost a tentativeness. I mean, they're out there playing hard, but it's not the same kind of intensity that we saw maybe in games 3 and 4.
They're certainly not playing the same way. And this Nuggets team can't beat the Lakers. They're at their best when they're standing face to face, aggressively and playing physical.
About a 4-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Anthony guarding Kobe Bryant. Anthony on the drive. Bank shot won't go. Nearly tipped in by Odom. Gasol gets it back. Bryant steps back for 3. It's good. Kobe Bryant drills the 3 with 4.1 remaining. Here goes Carmelo Anthony. Plenty of time. Drives down the lane. Running layup. No good. And that ends the first half. A 9-1 run. Kobe Bryant thought he was fouled on the initial shot, but it wound up being beneficial to the Lakers. Because it looked like he got hit on the way to the basket initially.
Well, you get the impression that this guy realizes this is a must-win ball game. Step back, knocks down the 3, knows right away it's good. Outstanding half, starting off being a facilitator and then taking over offensively.
He has 18 in the first half, and he's with Doris.
Kobe, Trevor Ariza got you started. He had plenty of uncontested threes. What were those a product of?
Well, just them double teaming and zoning up whenever I have the ball and Powell has the ball. And we did a good job with our spacing.
You got hot late. What was so successful about the offense?
Well, just getting open looks. If a guy's guarding me, got his hands down, I'm going to shoot it. And, I got a good rhythm.
How do you make sure you close this thing out in the second half?
Stay disciplined. Stay disciplined defensively.
Thank you, Kobe. Mike?
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Toyota Halftime Show.
Act like you've been there before. Kobe Bryant. Been there before. 18 points in the first half. Kobe's LA Lakers are 24 minutes of game time away from going to the NBA Finals. What's going on? Welcome to the Toyota Halftime Show. Stuart Scott, Mike Wilbon, John Barry, Hall of Famer, Magic Johnson. LA a 13-point lead over the Denver Nuggets. Lakers are shooting 60%. We know it's the NBA. We know teams make a run. Denver's got the home crowd. How does LA avoid a big run by the Nuggets and wrap this thing up?
Well, what we saw in the first half, Stuart, was great focus, great determination, great mental toughness from the Lakers. Everybody is really into it. And you could see Kobe Bryant, when we showed you the first films of Kobe in the beginning of the game, before the game started, his eyes, his focus, that told me that the Lakers were focused. 5 for 5 from the free throw line, which normally they were averaging 10 misses. 60% from the field. They're doing everything right, and the defense has been great as well.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. This defense, to me, has been a carryover from Game 5 when Denver shot 29%. Remember, that game was tied going into the fourth. 29% shooting for Denver. They're at 37 here. The defense has been terrific. They are mentally into it. They're focused, and they're doing a great job on Denver. In specific, Carmelo Anthony, just 3 of 10 again.
Well, Phil Jackson likes to use the phrase X factor. That person is Trevor Ariza, clearly. 5 of 6 in the first half, 13 points. That's a game's worth. If you had said that he could get 13 out of Trevor Ariza, probably accept that, got that at halftime already. On the other side, Denver, what is going on with their starting front line? And just their big 3 when it comes to scoring. Carmelo Anthony, Nene, Chauncey Billups, 5 for 19 shooting, even if you add Kenyon Martin, 7 for 24. J.R. Smith, Irvin, is keeping Denver in this. He has as many baskets as his starting front line.
But also from the three-point line, they're shooting 6 for 10. And a great start for Lamar Odom. 3 for 5. He's playing great. So the Lakers are really in tune to each other and playing great as a unit, Stuart.
And remember this, we're talking franchises. The Lakers are going to their 30th NBA Finals if they win this game. The Nuggets have never played in an NBA Finals. Still ahead here in the Toyota Halftime Show, I promise you, you will not want to miss this story. One Nuggets fan inspires the team he loves. One of the most memorable stories that we have run all season long. As a fan, it is your right to cheer when things are going well. And if you want, it's your right to express your displeasure when things are not. But there's one Nuggets fan who only knows the former, what it's like to cheer. You know, in sports, a lot of times we're inspired by those who score the most points, hit the most home runs, have the nicest touchdown runs. But sometimes someone who doesn't even wear a uniform is the person who truly inspires us, reminds us what's really important. Here's Tom Friend with the courageous story about one fan and his unending passion for his team.
The Denver Nuggets are walking the walk, inspired by a young man who's been with them every step of the way.
For us to be doing as well as we're doing right now, it has to lift him up, and it has to make him happy. And we owe a lot of that really to Nick.
His name is Nicholas Owens, and he was born in 1985 with spina bifida, a birth defect that can lead to increasing paralysis. By the time he was 6, he'd had 14 operations and needed crutches to walk. And that's when he met then Nuggets center Dikembe Mutombo at a hospital event.
I was like, "Hi, I'm Nicholas." He goes, "Nicholas, it's nice to meet you." He was Dikembe. I looked up at him and I was like, "Can I look into your legs?" And he goes, "Sure, go ahead."
Nick was somebody who kind of touched my heart from day one. With his beautiful smile and little circle glasses that he always wear, he was like my little brother.
My favorite shot was when Dikembe Mutombo just fell to the ground and had the basketball up in the air, and he had the best smile on his face. Ever since then, it doesn't matter where they are, I'm sitting there watching him.
Nicholas became a fixture at games and even took a road trip on the team plane. When he was 13, the Nuggets hired him to distribute stat sheets and later to be a locker room attendant. In June 2003, already confined to a wheelchair, he underwent his 25th operation at the age of 17. He then received a hospital visit from the newest Nuggets draft pick.
I shook his hand and said, "Carmelo, welcome to Denver."
He was like, "I'm a big fan. I'm glad the Nuggets drafted you." He had that "don't feel sorry for me" attitude. You know, I'll be okay, I'm gonna survive.
After another operation in December 2003, Nicholas's spinal cord went into shock and he nearly lost his life. He suffered partial paralysis of his left arm and vocal cords and required a power wheelchair. So Anthony gave him a $30,000 gift, a van with a chair lift.
He was like, "I gotta do something. Just get in the van and come to the game."
Since then, Nicholas has been back in his favorite place, the locker room. His job, delivering player tickets to will call.
They put the tickets in a little pouch that I have. Once I get those, I take them up to the box office, and I am so fast. And people are just looking at me going, "Watch out, here he comes." There you go.
All right, thank you. Go Nugs.
There's a lot of people that are a part of the Nuggets that are not really actually in the locker room. He's in the locker room. You know what I mean? He's a part of the team.
Hey, Jason. How are you? How you doing? Good luck tonight.
Nicholas watches games from the stands with his father. Afterwards, he has one more job to do.
When you leave that court, you're looking, where's Nick at? You know, where's Nick? You got to give Nick a high five.
If Nick can survive, if Nick can overcome all his obstacles, then this basketball stuff is easy. Keeping in the back of your mind what he's been through.
To know that I'm actually working for them and they're doing this well. I mean, I cry when I think about it. If I didn't have the Nuggets, I would be lost. They mean the world to me.
Nuggets #1 fan Nicholas Owens early tonight trying to cheer his team on. His team is down at halftime, but I got to tell you something. Hey, Trevor Ariza, all the undecideds, people who hadn't decided yet who they want to win, I think they just sided with Denver. Lakers 13 points up, second half coming back. Lakers got to face the Nuggets and the power of Nicholas Owens.
But you got to get your heads up and build your confidence back. You do that first by playing some defense. You know, it's all about right now, where we're at right now. We got to fight. We got to fight with intensity. We got to battle. Don't worry about foul trouble. Just go out and battle defensively to start your game to try to create some offensive basketball.
Denver Nuggets, they've been fighting all season long, a staple of what's been a terrific season for them. But here in an elimination game, they find themselves down 13 at halftime of Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. An uphill battle in the second half for Denver. As the Lakers right now in control. Again, everyone, along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. Mike Green on hand. We'll check in with Doris in a minute. Kobe Bryant said he did not want to have the same mistake happen in the previous series when they got blown out in Game 6 on the road, had to play Game 7. He's doing everything possible to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, I love this mindset to start the ball game. Realize I have to get other guys involved. Certainly did that. The way to do that is recognize where the double team is coming from. Head up, realize the double team drops pass to Lamar Odom. Good job putting your teammate in position. Once again, understand it is a setup. Come on and help. You had no man's land. Playing his Glazer, finding the teammate Luke Walton diving to the hoop, puts it on point. Good job of executing. Once again, take the double team patiently, willing to take it, puts Trevor Ariza in position to score. Then getting back, says, I see you. Now it's time to take over offensively. Gets into the seam. Rhythm jump shot, the mid-range game. How about stepping back? Defense on its heels, pay the price. And then off the offensive rebound, kick out, knocks down the dagger three and doesn't give up there. End the half, defensively gets back. Says the Carmelo Anthony, not on my watch. Outstanding job of picking and choosing his spots. And in the second quarter, taking over offensively.
Terrific first half. Meanwhile, for Denver, Jeff, it's not like they're not playing hard, but you feel there's something missing right now.
Right, they need an energy boost right now. Nobody who started for them had a good half. Only J.R. Smith, to me, played with great energy. And those are the plays you just saw right there by Kenyon Martin. Getting on the offensive board, defending. Those are the type of plays that are the energy plays that can get you back in the game.
Martin hurt one of his hands. Ariza misses the alley-oop dunk. Martin shaking up. I don't know if he got hit in the groin or he was grabbing his hand at one point, but he's grimacing down the other end of the floor as the Nuggets give it right back.
Chauncey Billups did what he just did on the break in the first half, too. Left his feet to try to make a play. They're not coming. Take it to the rim to score.
It's that left hand of Kenyon Martin. Chauncey Billups with his fourth turnover. Just underway, second half. Lakers trying to close this out and advance to another NBA Finals. Nuggets, though, came back, remember, in Game 2. In L.A., they were down 14 and came back and won that game. Ariza. Back out Bryant. Wide open three, way off an air ball. We don't see that very often. And a technical foul.
Actually, a technical foul. Kobe Bryant shoots the air ball. Technical foul on Dante Jones.
Jones pleading his case. So Kobe Bryant will shoot the one-shot technical. And George Karl has talked about this. Especially you're down by 11. Every point so important. Let's take a look at what happened. See Jones yelling at Joey Crawford. You start waving your arms demonstratively like that at him, and you're going to get hit.
Well, Jones was upset. Felt like on the screen, Andrew Bynum sort of elbowed him in the head. That's playoff basketball. You're Dante Jones. You got to play through it.
And there's a foul as Anthony goes to the basket. He was right. He's got a beef, but you can't respond that way.
Exactly. That's an illegal screen. That's an offensive foul, but that's certainly nothing dirty. I've watched Andrew Bynum. He does move his arms quite often on the screen. It's unusual that he gets away with it.
Jim Gillen, the head athletic trainer, attending to that left hand of Kenyon Martin as Carmelo Anthony will shoot 2 free throws.
And I understand totally, because if you're Dante Jones, there's a way to make the same case as Carmelo Anthony misses the foul shot. You can go over there and explain it.
And again, Joe Crawford is not the official to do that to. Certain officials give a little quicker check than others. And as Anthony goes 1 of 2.
If Joey was in the Wild Wild West, he would have never lost a shootout. He's that quick with the trigger.
Jones stays on Kobe Bryant. Gasol didn't get a lot of shots in that first half. He'd only taken 4. Bynum inside for the finish. Gasol points to Bryant as he goes up the floor. That's 3 assists for Pau Gasol.
And Bryant overruled Phil Jackson for the offensive set being called. Once designed the post up for Gasol and a good job of being patient. We're talking about you have to be patient and calm to hold the basketball in the midst of all of this traffic. Your double team, guys with active hands, patiently waiting. Okay, I'm relaxing for the opening. Good job of delivering the ball to Bryant.
That's an undisciplined double team. That's a double team 18 feet away against Pau Gasol. That's unnecessary.
Meanwhile, Bynum down the other end after getting his first field goal, picks up his 3rd foul. He'll stay in the game as we check in with Doris.
George Karl touched on the double teams as well. Mark and Jeff both noted that at the half. He said, if we're going to double, we've got to be assertive, aggressive, and smart. He said, at this point, we're in a position where we might have to do it more than I want to. On the offensive end, guys, he said that the Lakers are playing a ton of zone, a lot of elbows and boxes, and that they have got to be more patient on that end of the floor, Mike.
Bryant pulls up Doris, knocks it down. Kobe Bryant with 21. And this is the largest lead of the game, a 15-point Laker lead. And a foul away from the ball. Trevor Reese has just picked up his 4th.
But I agree with you, Coach. At some point, you have to individually say, I don't need help. I got him one-on-one. I'm going to play man-to-man defense. This guy's being positioned. But you are having breakdowns all around the floor when you begin to double-team everybody.
Walton, you see, checks in, and Reza will sit down with 4. Reza playing so well. Well, he's going to be on the bench for a while.
And pretty soon, George Karl is going to have to put in as fine as Kenyon Martin dunks it, somebody to ignite him energy-wise. Maybe it's plays at 4. Maybe it's J.R. Smith again earlier than normal.
Well, Martin's battling on the boards. That's his 2nd offensive putback. Trying to get things started. Gasol with Martin on him the other way. And the foul's going to be called before the shot. Won't count. Kenyon Martin.
This is when the Lakers have the best of both worlds. An aggressive Kobe Bryant and also everybody else in position ready to score.
What are you, Hannah Montana, the best of both worlds?
Walt looking, now getting it back to Gasol. Martin on him. He's got 3 fouls, left hand, gets it to go. The skill of the 7-footer, Pau Gasol. 8 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, block shot. Phillips draws the foul. He does that very well as he leans into Fisher.
Again, Denver's defense is not tied together. Pau Gasol catches it with a foot in the paint. This guy is just too good to let him catch it so deep. Miscommunication. Kenyon Martin thought Nene was going to switch. No one switches. Deep catch.
Here's Chauncey Billups, who was in this situation last year in Detroit in the conference finals against Boston. They were trailing 3-2, playing on their home floor. And he watched as his team lost and were eliminated on their home floor at the Palace of Auburn Hills. He is desperate for it not to happen a 2nd straight year.
Usually you see a burst of energy when you're down double figures in a playoff game at home, right to start. Gives no sense that there's any burst of energy coming.
Martin's the one guy that's doing it. Alley-oop to Bynum, comes down with it. Bynum looking, tied up, knocked away. Good job from Kenyon Martin. Billups spinning, pulls up, and gets the roll. Back to 11. Nuggets have been a mentally tough team all year. It was something that they've been knocked against in previous season. This year they've always fought back after bad losses, after big deficits. Phillips not happy there as Dante Jones called for the reach-in. That was clearly a reach-in. Jones' first foul. 2 team fouls on Denver.
Denver's trying to extend their ball pressure.
Offense through Gasol. Spins. Back shot's good. Wow, Gasol, a little bit of everything here in the third quarter.
That's why it should be a crime that this guy only gets 10 shot attempts in the ball. Too skilled to just be a regular guy on the offensive end.
Anthony fakes the three, gets into the paint, and a foul before the shot won't count. As Luke Walton picks up another.
He's showing us a variety of moves. First of all, a jump hook with the left hand, and this time spinning away. Good job of keeping it high, kissing it off the glass. Outstanding, fundamental move by Gasol.
If you charted how many times the Lakers have posted up compared to Denver, it would be about 8, 9, 10 to 1. This ball has been driven into the paint by LA. Phil Jackson believes in post play, and he's getting rewarded tonight.
Timeout call, 8:12 left in the third. Lakers by a dozen. 6 from Denver. Lakers lead by 12. Prior to Game 5, Pau Gasol said, we need to get the ball inside more. He doesn't say that very often. They're doing a good job here in the third.
Well, one of the big components of the triangle offense is the ability to post. Here, an unnecessary double team, 18 feet from the basket, miscommunication, find him on the dunks, and then drop the ball into the post, foot in the paint, easy spin back baseline, and then the same thing on the right block. Pau Gasol, posting him is bringing big dividends, not only in his shot attempts, but open shots for others.
Meanwhile, Anthony goes to the line, and you look at shooting numbers, which are way in the advantage of the Lakers, and the way the game's been played, Denver's only down by 11, and it's obviously still very early here in the third.
And they should feel very fortunate to still be in this ball game when you look at the scoreboard. But it's about making plays offensively and defensively. You certainly have to pick it up.
Bryant with Jones on in, spinning. Loves that turnaround. Not that time. Martin, another rebound. Martin has come out with a force here in the third. Phillips back to Anthony. Nice crossover move. Chauncey Billups feeds Martin. Wide open jumper. Knocks it down. It's back to single digits.
Offensively, they're doing a good job attacking off the dribble, trying to create fouls and open shot opportunities.
Kenyon Martin having a big third quarter, already 6 points, 4 rebounds in the period. The spark that Denver has needed. Shot clock down to 7. Fisher to Bryant. Bryant to Walton. Walton flips it up and gets it to go. Luke Walton playing some extra minutes with Ariza in foul trouble. He's got 4 points. Anthony to the basket. Gets the roll. Nice soft touch.
This is an explosive offensive team. I don't think they're going to have problems scoring. They have to begin to get stops.
Well, you can just see now they've picked up the energy a little bit. Gasol inside to Walton, back out. Gasol squares and faces and knocks it down. Now Gasol having a big third quarter as well. Phillips to Jones. Jones spins, contested nicely by Bynum. And Gasol a rebound. Lakers have 20 assists. The ball movement has been good all game. Walton steps back and knocks down the shot. Luke Walton doing a strong job off the bench as Kobe Bryant gets his 8th assist, same as last game.
Well, that's just bad defense by the Denver Nuggets. Breakdown, miscommunication, open looks for the Lakers.
Anthony misses, foul by Jones, and that's an open look on a right wing jumper. Let's take a listen to recent huddles from the coaches.
Stop the ball. Take charges. Don't reach. Move your feet. Close the lane, etc., etc., etc. We're in the penalty, guys.
Gentlemen, you act like it's a 25-point lead. It's a 10-point lead. Get your heads up and feel good. You competed all year. Go out and compete now.
Well, they're starting to compete, but they're down 13. By the way, what's etc., etc., etc.?
It's like I've told you this time and time again. Would you just do it so I don't have to keep reminding you?
Gasol up top to Bryant. Shot clock at 5. Bryant on the drive. Spins. Nice turnaround. Shot won't go. And Nene the rebound. J.R. Smith back in. Can he spark them like he did in Game 4? He did in the first half of this one. As Kenyon Martin's jump shot won't go. When you look at the shooting numbers, 60% for LA, 39% for Denver. Bryant on Phillips. Gets inside, flips it up, banks it in, and a foul. Kobe Bryant with a chance for a three-point play. Phillips defended him well, too, on this one.
And turns around and says, he can't guard me. Nothing personal, but not just Phillips. That's just strength, the ability to take the contact and finish. You get the sense that Bryant and the Lakers are trying to take this game right now.
And they talked the last couple of days about not letting happen again what occurred in the Houston series, where they were forced to go to a Game 7. Trying to wrap it up here and give themselves some rest before an NBA Finals appearance, as they now have their largest lead, a 16-point advantage with 5 to play in the third. Phillips alley-up to Martin. Beautiful pass. Kenyon Martin has come out with a force, but he needs some help.
You see Chauncey Billups, he's trying to be much more aggressive offensively, trying to be a spark plug, getting his team going.
Martin with 13 points. And 8 of them have come here in this third quarter. Odom is in for the Lakers. Bryant wants the ball instead to Gasol. Driving on Nene, and he's bumped. 3 fouls on Nene, Nuggets, and a penalty.
Now Gasol putting the ball on the floor. You see the left arm of Nene riding the hip of Gasol. That's a good call.
As Gasol hits Pau Gasol, the first Laker other than Kobe Bryant to attempt a free throw. Bryant 7 for 7. It's only now, this is the 9th free throw attempt for the Lakers. The Nuggets have taken 19. Under 4.5 remaining in the third. Lakers doing a good job keeping the Nuggets at bay. Martin flips it up. Won't go that time. Lakers right now in control. Bryant, jump shot, hand at his face. Won't go. Phillips the rebound. Bauer's going quiet. Obviously very nervous right now. J.R. Smith thread the needle, blocked, but a foul. And Nene goes to the line. J.R. Smith kind of hurt his right foot, walking it off in the backcourt now. And he thread the needle on this one.
Now, that's a good read. Backdoor cut by Nene. Good delivery from J.R. Smith. That's a good job. Go unnoticed, but Lamar Odom, we've seen the Lakers at times quit on plays. He's not giving up a three-point play, gets back into the picture and blocks the shot attempt in the net.
Certainly saw it in Game 5 when they had 12 blocked shots. We've got 4 blocked shots here tonight so far. This building's so loud to start. As we said, it's one of the best atmospheres in the league throughout these playoffs, but there's some nervous energy right now with these Nuggets fans. Walton, nobody near him, left wide open and knocks it down. Luke Walton, a wide open jumper. He's got 8 points.
There is something seriously wrong. It's almost a backdoor violation right there. On these, when he comes off these staggers, 2 guys are playing the guy without the ball with Luke Walton wide open.
Smith drives in, offensive foul. Luke Walton draws the charge. Walton doing a terrific job here in this third quarter. As Smith picks up his second foul.
And the little things, being in position to help. Luke Walton steps in. J.R. Smith looked like he attempted to avoid the contact, but on the offensive end, extra ball movement. Luke Walton steps, uncontested, wide open jump shot.
Gasol again squares and faces. That won't go. Rebound tipped by Walton. Odom on the second opportunity. Walton kept it alive. Odom put it in, and it's an 18-point lead. Phillips fires away. Short. Gasol the rebound. What a strong, impressive quarter for the Lakers here in the third.
This is a championship-type quarter right here. And a championship-type game. This is a very good performance by the Lakers.
Bryant. Oh, Kobe Bryant. Another one, and it's a 20-point lead for the LA Lakers. They are taking it to Denver here in the third. Smith. Nice move from Smith. Able to get to the rim whenever he wants.
And actually, George Karl was attempting to call a timeout, trying to get Joey Crawford's head. Wasn't able to do it.
Lakers 59% shooting. Chris Anderson, you see him in on Gasol. Gasol spins. Not that time. Plays with a rebound. Nuggets are a team that can score points in a hurry. Highest scoring team in the postseason. Smith for three. J.R. Smith, back-to-back buckets. 5 quick points for Denver just in the nick of time.
And that's the good news. Get some stops. This is a lineup that can score and score quickly.
Very interesting. George Karl taking Carmelo Anthony out early in this decisive game in the third quarter. And I agreed with him. He was not playing well at either end of the floor.
Shot clock winding down. Bryant the drive. Strip gets it back in a 24-second violation. Bryant thought he was fouled. Good physical defense by the Nuggets. And a timeout call. The Denver Nuggets in some trouble here in their elimination game, trailed by as many as 20. Trying to get back into it here in the third on their home floor. Back at the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. Time for tonight's GMC game track. With a minute and a half remaining in the third, Lakers are led by as many as 20 here in the period. It's now 15. Kobe Bryant has been superb. Only 1 turnover with those other numbers. J.R. Smith and Kenyon Martin. Right now, the only Nuggets playing well is we have our Coors Light cold hard look.
Well, sometimes, for whatever reason, you are running in mud. The Denver Nuggets are running in mud. Miscommunication leads to the second wide open. Luke Walton jump shot. Poor closeout. No one's even close to people. This is just too easy. Denver's better than this. A lot better than this. It's unfortunate. In an elimination game, they're playing their worst playoff game, and yet they're still within somewhat of a striking distance.
It's a team that, again, during the course of the postseason, they've lost 3 times by 2 points, 1 by 6, 1 by 9. They really haven't had one bad game in the playoffs. Plays it, puts it up. That's a 3. I think his foot was on the line. They'll probably review it. They will. But Clayson knocks it down. That makes it 12. An 8-0 run now by Denver. You can't count these Nuggets out. Such a potent offensive team. Walton drives out to Vujacic. Kobe Bryant staying right now. Vujacic to Walton. Walton hoists it up. That won't go. Denver ball. And the crowd back into it again.
You see the ball movement, plays a steps in rhythm. That's certainly a three-pointer behind the arc.
Offensive foul on a moving screen. Chris Anderson, his first.
And I like the lineup that George Karl has in there right now because basically this is a lineup that he does not have to coach energy and effort. You can live with missed shots, but you can't live with lack of effort.
Anderson and J.R. Smith, the energy guys off the bench all season long, especially here at home. In the final minute of the third, Vujacic drives, back out to Odom. Odom goes right at Anderson, misses, ball knocked loose. Vujacic and Martin get tripped up, and a foul's called on Kenyon Martin as they got entangled. A loose ball foul call on Martin, so Vujacic will go to the line. Martin, number 4, falls down. Vujacic gets rid of it. They're trying to get out of there. Martin kind of holds on to his leg.
I think you can take kind of out.
Okay, well, good point.
And you know what? You can't win making those plays. Instead of having a fast break opportunity to cut it to 10 or less, What happens? Loose ball foul. You put them to the line. They up their lead back to 13 or 14.
Martin, his fourth foul. And again, he provided a big spark when the Nuggets just didn't seem to have that extra oomph. Well, he'll sit now as it's back up to 14. Lakers 11 for 11 from the free throw line. Eight to shoot for Billups. Lobs it in. Anderson blocked by Gasol. Walton tips it out. Here comes Vujicic. And a foul. Another bad foul by Denver. J.R. Smith upset. Credit Pau Gasol, though, for knocking that pass away. Now, Gasol's had a terrific third quarter.
And we've seen the Lakers in the past not have communication defensively in wrong areas. That time you see communicating, understanding what the set was that the Nuggets were running, active hands, and then did not allow the home run play.
Another free throw.
So right away, Lamar Odom comes over, but he's not just there. And then Pau Gasol says, I have your back if your man slashes to the hoop. We watched this in the past where that would have been a dunk. And this is just a bad grab by J.R. Smith.
And more free throws. It's back up to 16 final seconds. Smith launches a three. Won't go. And that will end the third quarter. That tip-in will not count by Nene. They'll review it, but it's waved off on the floor. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers trying to close this out tonight. Bryant with 26 points, 8 assists, 1 turnover. He has done an excellent job tonight. They do not want a Game 7. Lakers led by as many as 20 here in the third. Nuggets started to come back a bit. But as we head to the fourth quarter, L.A. by 16 here in Denver.
Coach Carl, the Lakers continue to shoot a high percentage. Where are they hurting you?
Well, you know, Kobe had a great outburst at the end of the quarter. The third quarter, I thought we played hard, but we didn't play enough defense to make stops. You know, we're in a kind of desperate situation that we just got to keep playing aggressively, and hopefully we get a momentum push here with some defensive stop.
All season long, your team has changed perceptions about the way people think of them. What do you most want to see here over the last 12 minutes?
I think I'd just like to see the pass come more involved offensively and keep playing hard defensively.
Thank you, George. Mike.
All right, Doris, pass the ball and play D. As Walton drives, kicks it out to Bryant. Largest lead was 20. As Gasol inside to Odom, flips it up and in. Beautiful passing. Pau Gasol has been just terrific here in the second half.
And you look and you see the Lakers, not a lot of free throw attempts, but it's not because they're not playing with force. They're getting double teamed and they're making the right decision.
Lakers shooting 57% from the field. They also haven't missed a free throw, and they're 6 of 12 from downtown. J.R. Smith gets inside. Short. Gasol, his 10th rebound.
And I also like the fact that Phil Jackson starting Kobe Bryant in this fourth quarter. There comes a point as a coach, you have to put the kids to bed and try to knock them out.
Odom for three. Lamar Odom from downtown. And the lead goes up to 21, largest of the game.
When you put the kids to bed, you got to turn off the TV. Lamar Odom just turned off the TV.
And a foul away from the ball. Odom with 13 points. Just great shooting. This is their 7th three-pointer.
Yeah, going under a screen. Lamar Odom. Heat check. And again, post the ball. Good things happen. Pau Gasol, great pass fake. Good cut by Lamar Odom. And this is really the only lineup Denver has a chance with. Just going small. I hope you can get some more three-pointers and transition points into the game.
And they able to put it in. Well, the Nuggets looking at a 19-point hole right now. Shannon Brown in the game. Brown, one of the big players in Game 5 for L.A. Another nice pass, and Walton will finish. Pau Gasol with his 6th assist. And Carmelo Anthony shaking up on the play, and Denver's going to have to call a timeout. How about the play of Luke Walton off the bench? 10 points in 19 minutes. The shooting percentage up to 58%, Mark.
Inside, outside, double teams. How about Luke Walton? Use the left arm, He's not going to tell his grandkids. He's going to say, I punched it over Carmelo Anthony in Game 6, the Western Conference Final.
Tomorrow night on TNT, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 6. Magic lead at 3-2. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern. Tip-off shortly after 8:30. Then on Sunday, right now it doesn't look like there'll be a Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, but if Denver mounts this great comeback, our coverage will start at 8 Eastern from Staples Center. And then next Thursday, NBA Finals Game 1. Coverage begins at 8:30 Eastern. Who or where, we don't know. Lakers trying to make sure they're part of that. Nene on the drive, on the finish. Nice move from Nene. Still plenty of time remaining, but Denver needs stops desperately. The ball movement for the Lakers has been terrific. Gasol out to Wall. And he stepped out of bounds. LA has 25 assists in the game.
I can't say enough about Shannon Brown. Here's a young guy that should be thinking, or most young guys should be thinking, hey, I deserve to be in the ball game as plays and knocks down the shot. But he's waiting for his moment, and he's ready at all times.
That cuts it to 16. Again, the crowd getting back into it during that last timeout. The PA system trying to fire up the crowd. Nuggets play has not been able to do that. Smith on Bryant. Bryant falling away, draws the foul, almost put it in. And they'll go back to the line as Smith picks up his 4th. He's been a whirling dervish on a lot of these moves tonight.
5 straight points by the Nuggets, so what do? Give the ball to Kobe Bryant. Let him go to work in the post against single coverage. Drew the foul. Over the line.
They are 13 for 13 from the line. Kobe's hit all 7 of his.
If you want to win big in this league, you have to have a guy on your team that stops the bleeding. Because other teams are going to go on runs. You see what the Lakers do, reliable. They put the ball in the hands of the best player, and he time and time again comes through.
And hits yet another free throw. During the playoffs, they haven't shot particularly well from the line, just 73%. Not the case tonight. Anthony picked up on the double. Phillips fakes the 3. Phillips inside the net. Stripped by Gasol, taken by Odom. Pau Gasol doing a little bit of everything for the Lakers here in the second half. Gasol has the height advantage. Left-handed, rolls it in. Kobe Bryant always tells Gasol, play like you're one of the best players in the world, which the Lakers feel he is. He's doing that right now.
Now, this is bad defense by Carmelo Anthony. And this is good defense by the Lakers deflecting the basketball, but the play right after that just basically gives up solid position to Pau Gasol, and then an uncontested, basically late.
And hey, this is from point-blank range. 20-point game, just over 3 minutes gone by. And another reach-in foul. Smith his 5th. 3rd team foul. Check that, their 2nd team foul.
You know, Mike, Denver's had such a great season. It's really unfortunate that it's ending like this. You know, every team goes out except for one team, obviously, that wins it. But you want to be able to say you played your best and gave your best effort. I think Denver's going to regret their approach here in this game.
And foul call. Willie Crawford making the call. It's going to go against Nene. That's 4 on Nene. They say before the shot. 3rd team foul. And especially when it happens on your home floor.
And they've had such a great year. They've played well. They've played hard. So many great things.
And we've seen some crazy comebacks in the NBA, including the playoffs, as Odom's shot is blocked. But just by the way, Nuggets body language is, maybe more importantly, is Anthony knocks that down. The way the Lakers body language is, you don't expect to come back. It's 17 right now with 8:13 to play. Glazer on Odom. Gasol to Bryant. Nice fake. There's the drive and the finish. Beautiful execution. 30 for Kobe. J.R. Smith launches a 3, and that's good. Again, don't count this team out. They've got the ability to score points in a hurry and in bunches.
The problem is, though, Mike, they're not getting it done on a defensive end. You can't trade baskets. At some point, you have to look to get stops, and the Nuggets are not committed on the defensive end.
21 to J.R. Smith. Walk back to Odom. Here's Shannon Brown. Brown falling away. Really backpeding from the side. Here's Carmelo Anthony. Launches up a two-pointer. That's good. And it's 14, and the crowd is alive again. Still plenty of time to go. A chance of defense here at the Pepsi Center. Nuggets season on the line right now. 7 on the shot clock. Bryant to the basket, lays it in.
Well, here's my problem, Coach. No denial of the pass to Bryant. If you're J.R. Smith, understand the situation. Force somebody else to make the play. Trots out, allow him to catch it, and then no help on the dribble penetration.
Amen.
Anthony, that's a three-pointer. Won't go. Odom the rebound. Odom's numbers won't be as big as he had in Game 5, but he's played a good, solid game again. Lakers will take time off the shot clock with every possession. Smith has 5 fouls. Kobe Bryant for 3. 35 for Bryant. And it's back up to 19. Timeout Denver. And once again, this building goes quiet. A magnificent performance from Kobe Bryant tonight here in Game 6.
Taking over the basketball game, hand down, man down. Bryant knocks down the jumper, having his way on the offensive end. Dribble penetration, help is late, making the Nuggets pay the price. 7 of 9 field goals in the fourth quarter. How about the pump fake? And mama, there goes that man. Lakers can't wait to get to the finals.
Here in what could be a closeout game for the Lakers, and just a brilliant performance from Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, and it's not just his 35 points and 9 assists. He's always constantly teaching, talking, mentoring, but you can't have this credibility if you're not bringing your game. 35 points, 9 rebounds. They know he has as much at stake in these playoffs as anyone in that locker room. He wants this championship, I believe, as much as anyone in that organization.
He said their defense at the end of Game 5 in the fourth quarter was their best defensive run of the season as the ball knocked out of bounds. They played some very strong defense here tonight in Game 6.
I like this, the way he's made an adjustment. 7 turnovers in Game 5, taking care of the basketball and reading the defense.
He's had guys knocking down shots. Trevor Ariza early in the first quarter. Pau Gasol, Luke Walton here in the second half. Walton's done a real nice job trying to draw a foul. Anthony to the basket. Rolls off, no good. Gasol his 11th rebound. And another double-double for Pau Gasol to go along with his 16 points. Nobody's started to lead yet here at the Pepsi Center. As Brown blocked. Oh, what a rejection. But Gasol then gets fouled. I think it's a flagrant one. Gasol shaken up on the play. First, the initial block, a terrific defensive play, but right to Gasol. Flagrant 1 foul call. So Gasol will shoot 2 shots, and the Lakers will get the ball. The foul on Chauncey Billups. Great play from Anderson. And then Chauncey Billups just smacks him on the head.
And after the foul, look at Kobe Bryant. Immediately runs to Pau Gasol, has a discussion with him. We got bigger fish to fry. There's no time for you to respond. Stay focused, knock down the free throws, and let's get out of here. That's leadership.
Bryant with Smith on him. Nuggets start to run out of time. Gasol left open. Gasol, that time, plays with the rebound. 21-point Laker lead with under 5.5 remaining. J.R. Smith from way outside knocks down the three. He's got 24 points on 10 of 15 from the field. But a couple of the key stars for Denver, Anthony and Billups, have not played well tonight. Jeff, you always say that, especially big games like this, your star players have to play like star players.
Right, and they have to be efficient. And neither one has had any efficiency to their game.
And another foul away from the ball. Carmelo Anthony. Let's listen to a recent huddle from Kobe Bryant talking.
This is what we really got to figure our energy up. We're playing desperation basketball. Hey, no mercy, man. No mercy.
That's always his theme, no mercy for the opponent.
I call that Kobe doing work.
That was that film that Spike Lee did. And even Kobe Bryant, after watching it, says, boy, I never shut up. I talk all game. But it's always... I mean, he's changed quite a bit last couple of years in terms of the encouragement, but he also talks about sometimes he has to be the bad guy. Sometimes his teammates don't like him.
A lot of times in this league, as a coach, your voice can become stale. You have to have leadership in uniform to send a message to the guy.
Are you trying to tell me something?
Billups stripped. Billups gets it back. Out to Glazer. Glazer for three. Short. Odom knocked out of bounds. And it's going to be Laker ball. And the Lakers are keeping Denver at bay as well because they're not missing any free throws. 19 for 19 from the line.
You know what? I've read these quotes by Kobe Bryant. When you win a playoff game, everything's great. When you lose it, everything's bad. Just think back after Game 6 in Houston a short while ago. The Laker world was supposedly crumbling, and now this performance puts them right back in the final.
Brown is hit. Shot won't go as Billups called for the foul. And Shannon Brown will shoot. And I think it's a three-pointer. So he'll get 3 free throws. You know, the Lakers certainly have had their share of uneven performances during the playoffs. As we mentioned, they've lost by double figures on the road twice in Houston. Game 4 here where they got blown out by 19. But they've always bounced back. That Game 7 performance against the Rockets, their best defensive performance maybe of the playoffs. And they've certainly bounced back in a big way with perhaps 2 straight wins after losing Game 4 here. Now with 3 free throws. Log on to NBA.com now for the most extensive playoff coverage and in-depth highlights of tonight's Lakers-Nuggets matchup, as well as up-to-date scores, stats, and schedules from the postseason. NBA.com. The game happens here. Largest lead right now, a 23-point advantage. And some of the fans here at the Pepsi Center heading for the exits. Smith misses Bryant the rebound. Also has 5 boards tonight.
Well, Coach, I can't say enough about Shannon Brown. Here's a guy that could have been out the league next year. But when his moment came, he was ready, has capitalized, and he's going to be around for a long time to come.
Goes pass. That time off the Mark Anderson to steal. And 26 assists for the Lakers. Anthony runner. And a late whistle. The follow won't count. Anthony will get 2 free throws.
And I agree with you. It's very hard to find those 10th, 11th, 12th guys who don't accept their role but understand their role, constantly working to get better and figure out their niche in any type of system. And Shannon Brown's done a great job with that.
Shannon Brown, he had only played in 1 playoff game prior to this year. It was his rookie year with the Cleveland Cavs, and he got 1 minute in Game 4 mop-up duty when the Spurs were on the verge of sweeping the Cavs. He said he was even nervous then. That's the only other time he's been in the playoffs. This year, he's an important part of the Laker rotation that is on the verge of going to the NBA Finals.
And could play against his former team.
Yep.
And as a coach, what you want is a guy that's always ready. Whether I call him or not, I know for a fact he's going to come in and give me energy, effort, and passion.
Meanwhile, no energy right now in this building. The air has gone out of it as the Lakers have dominated here tonight. As Jeff mentioned, it's such a shame for this season for the Nuggets. Many feel this is the best season in franchise history. They won 54 games. First time in 24 years at the conference finals as Ariza knocks it down. And they were in every game until this one. Even their losses in the playoffs, they were there. It was such a terrific performance. Carmelo Anthony and his growth as one of the elite players. Also, as a cohesive team, George Karl felt this was the best team he's had here in Denver in terms of coming together. He even told us earlier today he was amazed at their growth. Chauncey Billups was the perfect fit, came in and helped bring it together. They have some free agents that they have to sign, and as you see there, it's a tough way for really what was a great season for it to come to an end.
Very disappointing, but you got to give credit to the Nuggets for the success they've had this year. And the challenge is to take it to the next level. Get greedy, get hungrier, and come back bigger, better, and stronger.
Kenny Martin was shaken up earlier. He tried to provide the spark in that third quarter, and the Lakers were just too good. 58% shooting from the field, 8 of 14 from 3, and they've hit all 22 of their free throws. Bryant to Gasol, and Gasol flips it up and in. Another assist for Kobe Bryant. That's his 10th. And George Karl will call probably his final timeout of the season. As the Lakers starting to celebrate, Lakers on the verge of going to their 30th NBA final, where they'll await the winner of Cleveland and Orlando. Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, both magnificent tonight as the Lakers running away here in this clincher. 112-88. A complete domination for the Lakers, who open up their playoffs against the Utah Jazz, beating the Jazz in 5 games in that physical, grueling series that went 7. Lakers finally winning on their home floor. A tough battle there. And then it even got tougher against Denver. They split the first 2 games, most of them close, then won the big game 5, and Kobe Bryant and the Lakers coming here on the road in game 6 and putting together a spectacular performance. That look tells it all. He wanted it to end tonight. He made sure of it. A brilliant performance from Kobe Bryant.
That last look, the definition of the cat that ate the canary. And I don't know what that means, but that's the cat that ate the canary.
And the Laker players have been saying throughout these playoffs that this was good for them to be tested. Tested against first Houston and tested against Denver. They felt they weren't. If you remember last year as Anderson hits that shot, they went 12-3, only lost 3 games prior to the finals. Well, they've already lost 6 so far and had some real tough battles. Many of the Lakers feel this will make them tougher when it comes time to playing in the NBA Finals. They've been questioned. Their toughness has been questioned. And are they championship material? And as you said earlier, Jeff, they played like champions here tonight on the road.
And I'll say this, no matter who advances out of the East, whether it's Cleveland or Orlando, neither of those teams is as good as Boston was last year. So the competition is not going to be nearly as stiff as when you're facing 3 Hall of Famers who are playing in one of the best defenses that has ever played this game, which is last year's Celtics.
And Mark, this Laker team, and you guys have talked about this a lot, they've been inconsistent at times in the playoffs, but they've showed real grit when needed.
I think when you talk about, as Kobe Bryant exits the game, you talk about what the Lakers learned. I think the first lesson is, I don't think this Laker team has been beaten when they brought the A game. The only time they've lost is when they didn't show up. This is a dangerous team and a lesson learned, and this is a team that looks prepared to try to get some jewelry.
Again, the NBA Finals will start next Thursday on ABC. The Lakers don't know if they'll be hosting Game 1. If Orlando wins, the Lakers would have home court advantage. If Cleveland wins, then the Finals will start in Cleveland. And again, it starts on Thursday, June 4th. And then Game 2 would be Sunday, NBA Finals 2-3-2 format. And Game 6 of the East would be tomorrow night. Back in Orlando, Magic trying to get back to the NBA Finals. With a win, Cleveland trying to force a Game 7. Meanwhile, Denver still without a trip to the NBA Finals in franchise history. They thought perhaps this could be the year, pull off the upset. Chauncey Billups said that they had a chance to do something special, but just not enough, as they were dominated at home here in front of the hometown fans. Here's Trevor Ariza. What a performance he's had in the playoffs. It was huge early on, and that's such a key to the game, especially on the road, as Lamar Odom knocks down the 3. Lakers came out. They led by 5 after the first quarter. Ariza had 10 points. And they really never looked back. Nuggets had briefly a 1-point lead in the first quarter. The closest they were in the second half was 9. Coming up next, Sports Center. And that will include us coming back here to Denver for a presentation of the Western Conference Final Championship Trophy. It'll be the second straight year the Lakers go to the finals, and as we mentioned, their 30th finals appearance. A tough way to finish for the Denver Nuggets. They were beaten and dominated here tonight by a Laker team that put it all together in the last 2 games. Some of the Nuggets fans, nice job by the Nuggets fans as they're standing, and they'll give a nice applause to their Denver team. They've given him quite a run. This building has just been so alive during the postseason. Carmelo Anthony, his best year in terms of being a complete player, in terms of wins, but it comes to an end tonight as the LA Lakers are Western Conference champions. They win the series in 6 games.
Good luck, man.
Anthony and Bryant, such good friends. Really bonded this summer with Team USA. Kobe Bryant, George Karl, nice exchange. And you always like to see this respect. These 2 teams went at it. Very physical at times. The 2 coaches shake. You always love to see this at the end.
No matter how hard and fought the series is, at the end of the day, this is a family. When you talk about NBA players and coaches, nothing but love, respect, and admiration for a great series.
And what impressive for the Lakers, they won 2 road games in this series. Again, one of the tougher buildings to win in the NBA this year. And the Lakers winning Game 3 and the clincher, Game 6. And Carmelo Anthony will walk off with the Nuggets again. 54 wins, tying a franchise high. He did not play well in the elimination game, nor did Chauncey Billups. The 2 of them most responsible for really what was a dream season for Denver, but had a tough time tonight. Ended by Kobe Bryant's 35 points and 10 assists. He's with Dorisburg.
Kobe, Mark Jackson, and Jeff Van Gundy called the effort your guys gave tonight a championship effort. What pleased you most about what your team did here?
Just that. We had the effort, and then we had the execution to match. And, it took us a while to really get a feel for the team and our opposition, but we got it tonight.
You guys seem to have found something in Game 5 and Game 6. What was it?
Well, just how to take advantage of their defense. We saw something in how they were playing us, and we executed extremely well.
This has not been an easy playoffs. It has had some bumps in the road for you guys. What do you take from what you've learned in each of these series that helps you win the finals?
Well, just gain valuable experience. It's been a physical march all the way back to the finals. Every series has been tough, and now we're back at a place where we didn't finish our business last year. Hopefully, we'll do it this year.
Game 5, you termed yourself a decoy. Tonight, you were assertive offensively. What were you looking to get started?
Well, I felt like tonight, they gave me more space to operate. After my teammates started knocking down shots, they started playing me straight up for a little bit, and then I was able to take advantage of it.
Pau Gasol, when you guys built your biggest lead in the 3rd period, he was sensational. When you get the ball to him, what happens?
Well, the defense has to collapse. And the same thing with him. They had to double him, and he freed up shooters. And then they left him by himself, and he went to work.
Kobe, congratulations. Good luck in the finals. We've got Pau Gasol here as well as they exchange a hug. Pau, uncharacteristically, after Game 4, you have said publicly, I need to touch the basketball more. Why were you so adamant about that?
Because I think it's an effective way to play basketball. When you have a post player that can score and can attract people in the paint, it's going to free up other people. And I'm an unselfish player, so I think I can make plays and make good decisions.
Game 5 and Game 6, you had tremendously balanced scoring across the board. When you guys are getting that kind of balance, how tough are you to beat?
I think we're really tough because we're using all our weapons. We're just not, focused on Kobe or myself. We got a really good team, and we got to use everybody in there because that's how we're going to win it.
Jeff Van Gundy says that when you counter and go to that left hand, you are a difficult check. When do you go to that move?
Well, when I feel the defender is cutting off the middle, and when I feel that there's coming a double team, you know, if I'm close enough to the basket, I feel really comfortable with my left hook, so I can go to it pretty often.
I'm going to put the same question to you I did to Kobe Powell, and that's what did you guys learn through a lot of tough series that can help you win the championship?
Well, the struggle obviously is going to help us. I think it's toughen us up, and you know, that's what we need. That's what we need in the finals. Play extremely hard, make sure we take care of the rebounding, we defend well as a team, we move the ball offensively, we execute, we don't, you know, we minimize our mistakes, and we'll be in good shape. We got to compete. Obviously, right now it's one more step to our goal, but we still got to win 4 more games.
No more soft label for you, pal.
No
Congratulations,
more.
Mike.